Hello and welcome to the review of the 2005 Bennett's British Superbike Championship. Sit back and relax as over the next 3.5 hours we bring you all the thrills and spills from one of the most hard-fought and exciting seasons ever. The 2005 Bennett's British Superbike Championship will take place over 13 rounds at 11 different venues. The tracks cover the length and breadth of Britain, from Thruxton in the south to the tight and treacherous Knockhill in the north, as well as a hop across the Irish Sea to Mondello Park in Ireland. The Brands Hatch Indy Circuit in Kent sets the scene for what promises to be a dramatic season opener in a bid to see who'll be crowned British Superbike Champion 2005. Joining me this year are Barry and Roger, who are of course going to give you some fantastic and informed footage, isn't that right, boys?
Absolutely.
So Barry, there is unprecedented factory support here this year, isn't there?
Yeah, British Superbike has just grown and grown in recent years, and this looks like being the best season ever. All the major players are here in terms of manufacturers, riders too from overseas. A great prospect ahead of us.
Now, for those people that don't actually know, what is a superbike?
Well, Superbike racing is the manufacturer's showroom to the world, really, and a Superbike racer has to look like, mirror in fact, the bike you and I can buy over the counter. These are just very, very quick road bikes.
Now let's take a look at the runners and riders who are going to be entertaining you this season.
Defending champions Rizla Suzuki are again fielding John Reynolds, clearly in pain from his broken right leg. Just 4 weeks ago, he was in a hospital bed. 3 wins last year earned Scott Smart a Suzuki ride. Renowned for his technical expertise, a lot will be expected of him on the all-new GSX 1000 for 2005.
Looking to go one better than last year, HM Plant Honda is pinning its hopes on Michael Rutter. But with an ever-improving Japanese teammate Ryuichi Kiyanari, Rutter will have to be on the ball. The factory Honda Fireblade is bound to be better than last year.
Same manufacturer, different team. 2 Supersport titles earned Carl Harris a Superbike ride. The tough 25-year-old debuts the UK-built Fireblade.
At Virgin Mobile Yamaha, it could be hard to concentrate, but title contender Sean Emmett knows what it takes to bring home a trophy. His young teammate Tommy Hill, at just 20 years of age, will not be standing by watching. And, well, it's in at the deep end for Richard Wren, a far cry from the Virgin Mobile Cup. The R1 Yamaha is reputed to be much improved for 2005.
GSC Racing are back in BSB after 4 years away. Spaniard Gregorio Lavilla replaces the injured James Hayden and is very, very much on the pace. At just 22 years of age, Leon Haslam gets his big career break. In early testing, Haslam has shown his worth. Full factory support from Bologna sees the Airwaves team with the only 2 Ducatis on the grid.
Stobart Honda scored the biggest news of the closed season with the signing of MotoGP rider Jeremy McWilliams. Absent from the UK scene for some time, he brings experience and maturity to the team. Gary Mason will certainly learn a lot from being his teammate, as will Michael Laverty, who has it all to do moving up to the Premier class. Running kitted Honda CBR 1000 RRs should see them as real challengers.
At Hawk Kawasaki, it's an all-Australian affair with a fully fit Glenn Richards and his teammate Dean Thomas. This likeable pairing are hot to trot on the new ZX-10s.
Also running Kawasaki's, albeit in different colours, Sendo Superbike. They field crowd pleaser Steve Plater, who really does need a solid season under his belt. Following his lead is young John Kirkham in his 3rd season of Superbike racing.
Well, I don't know about you at home, but I've been waiting all winter for this moment, the start of the first round of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship 2005 here at Brands Hatch. 30 laps ahead of us, the revs rise, the lights go, and it's already a great start by the HM Plant Honda. The number 6 Honda of Kiyanari, he's away into Paddock Hill Bend. Close behind him, though, is the Hawk Kawasaki. That looked as though it was Glenn Richards off to a flyer. It is. Then it's the third place Airways Ducati. Leon Haslam, number 91, has tucked the Ducati from pole position into third. Then it's Scott Smart. Scott Smart on the Rizzler Suzuki in fourth. Then it's Michael Rutter. Then it's the Spaniard. Oh, and somebody's out of the seat. That's Haslam. Haslam's had a moment. So the 91 rider on the Airways Ducati is in trouble. He almost lost it, and I've no idea what happened there, but it looks as though the bike has stalled. It might even have been a gearbox locked up or something. But Ryuichi Kiyonari now, the young Japanese, as Scott Smart too leaves the seat of the Rizzler Suzuki. The young Japanese is away because that Haslam incident has broken the field up.
Well, a few hectic moments there on this opening lap, my goodness me. Well, Haslam then did come out of the seat, and we don't know what's happened technically to the bike at this stage, but if we get news of that, we'll bring it to you as Gregorio Lavia, the teammate, gets the back end loose on the approach to Druids Bend. That's off the throttle, the back was coming round. 36 there, Gregorio Lavia. Behind him, Sean Emmett. Now, Emmett won't be happy with fourth spot here. He'll be looking to move forward. There you can see Haslam highlighted there on the screen, out of the saddle, did very, very well to get back in the seat. And that's Steve Plater. Steve Plater, bike number 4. So that's the Sendo Kawasaki out of this one, and that's not the start to the season that he'd have been looking for.
Not the luckiest man in the world, Steve Plater. He's had a string of misfortune from crashes, injuries, mechanical breakdowns. He's on a good bike this year, but he's out of this race. Not so this man. The HM Plant Honda. There's Haslam. Haslam is in the pits, obviously devastated from pole position. All that qualifying, all that effort, and the Airways Ducati being pushed away, then his race is well and truly over, and he will not be a happy bunny at all. And now, look at Gregorio Lavia doing a sterling job, the stand-in man for James Hayden, number 36 on the Airways Ducati, closing down in 4th place. Lavia has come up from the second row, and that's Scott Smart. Scott Smart's out of the running. He was running just ahead of reigning champion John Reynolds. John Reynolds then promoted to 9th place, and Scott Smart has he's fallen. He's taken a tumble. So bottom of Graham Hill Bend, Scott Smart has lost the front end, down on the grass, machinery damage, but rider okay. Well, that battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th place is giving this man, Kiyonari, the race leader, the opportunity just to stretch and stretch and stretch that gap.
Well, it looks to me like Rutter and Lavia now are closing on Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards needs to get the hurry-up sign from the pit crew. The pit crew will hang the board out, and there goes the Lavia through, right up the inside of Rutter. That's not what Rutter was expecting. Watch for Rutter now coming back at him at Paddock Bend, because this is now a drag through the start and finish all the way up to Paddock Bend. The bike goes a little bit light there. Rutter tries to lean on Lavia, but Lavia doing an absolutely great job. Let's not forget, up into 3rd, didn't get on this bike until this weekend, hasn't ridden a Ducati for years. The back end twitches out there on the rundown with the over rundown into Druids Bend. Now we've got Lavia on the back of Glenn Richards, and this is Lavia looking to do the same on Glenn Richards at Paddock.
And he's up the inside of Richards at Paddock Hill Bend, and he's such a brave Spaniard, but he doesn't run wide. He's got to keep it tight, which is exactly what he does. Now, up through the gearbox, up towards Druids, then all the way down into 2nd gear, round here, and 2nd place now for the stand-in Spaniard. And just look at this overtaking move again, up the inside, and of course the obvious thing to do here, it's so easy to run wide. He was almost drifting a bit wide, but he managed to pull it back in again. And there you can see Rutter getting his board. He's in 4th place, Michael Rutter. He'll need to do a lot better than that if he wants to hold on to that number 2 board or go one better, because he was 2nd in 2004. Now we're in the traffic. They're the 2nd place Airways Ducati, number 36 in your picture. In 3rd place, number 75 on the green Hawk Kawasaki, Glenn Richards. Those are the men who matter. They're deep in the traffic at the moment, but you don't need to lose sight of them. We won't let you lose sight of them. Look at Lavia. Richards, actually, the green bike got thrown a bad line there by a tail ender, and closing on the inside of the track there, number 2 on the HM Plant Honda, Michael Rutter, who's lining himself up now on Richards to take 3rd place. Tail enders again, but the Ducati goes wide. Richards, oh, so close to the curb. Roger, these are tricky times.
They are tricky times, because this is the last lap, and that's your race leader, Kiyonari, on bike number 6, and he's got traffic ahead of him, but that won't bother him because he's 10 seconds in front at the moment.
It also explains why the battle's getting so frantic for second place, because the last lap, as Chianari comes round clearways for the final time, just the start-finish straight between him and the checkered flag, which he will take with immense pleasure and no small amount of ease. After 30 laps, Chianari, the crowd's favourite here at Brands, great win for the Honda team first time out. They're delighted. There's 36, Lavia gets second from Richards, and Michael Rutter, his teammate, runner-up last year, won't be pleased with fourth, but there's your winner, Chianari. Confirmation of that terrific win by the young Japanese. Lavia and Richards, second and third. You saw it with your own eyes. Best of the Yamahas, Sean Emmett. Fran is down on the grid with James Hayden.
James, what's been happening?
Yeah, unfortunately I had a crash testing my Airways Ducati out in Spain and broke my thumb, my finger and smashed my knuckles, and they couldn't pin or plate them, so out of action.
So you're hoping to be back at Thruxton, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the bike's going well, as you saw. Lavia, you know, got on the podium in the first race, and yeah, desperately want to come back to Thruxton. I've won there the last couple of times I've raced, so it'd be good to be back. How did you feel about Lavia? Yeah, I mean, awesome job for the team. You always feel a bit funny when someone's on your bike, and you know, kind of, yeah, it's great for the team. But you know, I'm very jealous that he's out there and not me on my Airways Ducati. Quick race prediction for race one? I reckon it's going to be Haslam, Lavia, Chianari.
I'll hold you to that. Thanks very much, James.
There he is in pole position on the Airwaves Ducati. Leon Haslam, the Reds, arrives alongside him. It's Chianari, the Japanese, who took such a terrific win in race one. They're all the way, 36 Superbikes charge towards, and he's done it again. The Japanese rider has done it again, leading the charge round Paddock Hill Bend. But in second place, the number 5 Virgin Mobile Yamaha of Sean Emmett. Then it comes the number 2 HM Plant Honda of Michael Rutter. Then it's Haslam. Number 91, the Airwaves Ducati of Haslam, is in fourth. Not the start he would have wanted from pole position. He certainly didn't make the best of his pole position. Rutter pulling a wheelie, getting the power on, looking as though he dived under Sean Emmett at that point, but no, he didn't. Emmett held the tight line. These four already breaking away from the rest of the group, but Chianari leads the field. The HM Plant Honda, number 6, then it's Emmett. Just listen to the boom of that big bang Yamaha, firing 2 cylinders at a time. Just watch then, Emmett now with 13 stitches in his left elbow, having fallen heavily in qualifying, had it stitched up. He's been taking pain-killing injections to help him get round these early laps. He felt the pain very much in the first race.
Emmett really tracking him down now as they enter Paddock Bend. 158 miles an hour to the entry of that corner, let me tell you, and downhill it goes, and you can't see. It's like a fairground ride. The suspension compresses and go Emmett, he's gone through on the inside of Chianari. This is just the tactic that Emmett wanted. He wanted to go through. Chianari comes straight back at him. Emmett leans on him. This is fantastic stuff.
Well, the Honda turns so quickly. Chianari, a combination of the nimble bike and the lightweight. The young Japanese rider turned it so sharply, he was back inside Sean Emmett. Emmett, though, leads. The Virgin Mobile Yamaha, Rob McElnay and the team have worked so hard over the winter developing that engine. It pulls and pulls like a train. It fires and pulls just like a great big V-twin. It booms like a big V-twin. But the HM Plant Honda is so fast, and they're now crawling all over the exhaust pipes of Emmett, but he leads this one, and he's looking mightily good, albeit carrying that injury. A proven race winner, Sean Emmett, and he's looking every bit a champion designate here.
Talking to Emmett before this race, his tactic was to pass Chianari and hold him up. He knows that if he lets Chianari go, he can't stay with him. But what he's trying to do here is hold him up so that Chianari can't. But Chianari comes through at the inside, and that was a mistake by Sean Emmett. He didn't get a good drive out of Graham Hill Bend, and that allowed Chianari to get back in front. So we must now watch for Sean Emmett retaking him back at Paddock Bend. He really does need to do it very, very quickly.
And there the Virgin Mobile Yamaha team watching intently, and that's Sean Emmett's young lady sitting down in the chair. She's breathing heavily. Emmett now relegated to second place. Chianari back in the lead. Michael Rutter, the number 2 machine, in third. Up to 5th place, the number 9 Honda UK, the red and yellow Dunlop-assisted bike of Carl Harris. He's there in 5th, and he's on a mission. He really is now. It's a 6-pack freight train. It's a 12-wheeler. Round here, round the Indy circuit at Brands, the sunshine is absolutely phenomenal. The crowd are 50,000 people for this, the opening Superbike meeting of the season. It is just phenomenal how this championship has grown. And Rutter now moving on Emmett, going to make it a Honda 1-2, but Sean Emmett very brave round Paddock Hill Bend, holding the HM Plant Honda back and retaining second place. But this scrap, of course, is allowing Haslam and Carl Harris to close up on them.
Where's Levere? Where's Levere? We haven't seen Levere. The man that was second in the first race hasn't come into shot yet. He must have not got such a brilliant start, and he's now working his way through the field. We'll look at the lap counter, and I can tell you now he's behind Glenn Richards. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 7th spot at the moment, Gregorio Levere. We did expect him to be better than that at this stage, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm encouraged that Chianari is not exactly clearing off in this one. He's not having it all his own way. I think he caught everybody with their trousers down a bit in the first race. He was just gone. He was away some 10 seconds in the lead, but he's not clearing off in this one, and that bodes well for the future. This is a 26 race championship, and as you said from your own sweet lips, Roger, you can only lose it today, you can't win it.
You can. But look at Michael Rutter now. That front tyre looks to be working because he's really giving Sean Emmett a hard time. This is the fight for second place, as Chianari does put 10 bike lengths between himself and Sean Emmett there second. And now Leon Haslam. Now, Leon has got the difficulty of not having completed the first race, of course, so this is his first race distance under full race conditions with the new team, and doing a great job in 4th spot.
He's also got the burly Yorkshireman, the 25-year-old Carl Harris, built like a kickboxer, climbing all over him. There he is, the number 9. There's Glenn Richards, the number 75 green Kawasaki, and the Spaniard Lavia. Such a fantastic ride in the first race. Can he get it on the rostrum again in this race too? Well, in order to do that, he really has to cut his way through this very fast traffic. They're all lapping in the low 46s. The number 36 Airwaves Ducati of Gregorio Lavia is closing now on Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki. There, 91 Haslam, just gone through your picture, still holding 4th place, but coming under enormous pressure. I'm delighted to see Glenn Richards going so well, considering the torrid season he had in 2004. He came into the 2005 season fully fit, and he's got every chance of great results on the Hawk Kawasaki. Lavia came out of Clearways with a full head of steam, and he made the best of it, slipping underneath Richards to take one more place going into Paddock Hill Bend. It's his favourite overtaking spot, or certainly it appears to be. Hold the tight line at Druids. Richards relegated one more time. The number 36 Airwaves Ducati is on the charge.
Well, he's got Carl Harris ahead of him next, and Carl Harris is doing a great job. A double British Supersport champion for Honda, riding the BLD Dunlop-backed Fireblade there on that's the white, yellow and red bike just in front of Lavia, and Lavia's really going to have a go at him now. And well, my bet is that Lavia's lining him up on the exit of this corner, Clearways, which is a really important corner because it means you get the drive down the front straight to pass into this corner, Paddock Bend. There is Chianari sliding the back just a little bit, but he's done that all the race. He's used to this. I can tell you that he's lapping 0.3 of a second faster than anybody else on the track at the moment, and he's consistent. He's just like a machine.
Well, I just hope that the second place man, Sean Emmett, can hang on, because he must be in some pain now, and not least of all John Reynolds, of course, who's still soldiering around in a very strong 13th place, and all credit to him. What a terrific achievement. But it looks as though Chianari now is cruising a little bit on this one. It's under control, very fast, still doing absolutely clinical lap times within 0.1 of a second every time. You hear that Yamaha go past, thundered past there, and that's the gap now. It's something like half the start-finish straight length. Emmett number 5, Michael Rutter number 2 right with him. Haslam still there, right in touch, number 91 Leon Haslam. Looking though for Gregorio Lavia, who's very much on a charge, having fought his way past the Kawasaki. This one's really shaping up. Do you think Emmett's going to stay the course?
The last couple of laps he's looked over his shoulder, and that indicates to me that he may have a problem. That's the HM Plant Honda pit crew there, monitoring every move that Chianari and Rutter are making, and the data that they analyse is quite incredible, and the detail they send back to Japan is unbelievable. Rutter looks like he's lining Emmett up as they exit Clearways. Watch for this run down to Paddock Bend.
Well, Michael Rutter, Michael Rutter's up the inside of Paddock Hill Bend as Sean Emmett makes it a Honda, an HM Plant Honda 1-2, and we have an Airways Ducati 4th and 5th, because Emmett's going to come under some pressure now, but Michael Rutter keeping it tight at Druids. Second gear round here, driving hard now towards the left hand of Graham Hill Bend. Sean Emmett will be furious with that because he was really caught sleeping going into Paddock Hill Bend. The HM Plant Honda had such a head of steam coming off clearways, there was nothing going to get in its way, and it sailed past the Virgin Mobile Yamaha.
So there you've got it, bike number 6, Chianari leading this one and on his final lap.
Well, I have to take my hat off to this young man. What an impeccable display he's put up here. He's really thrown the gauntlet down to everybody here at Brands in the most demonstrative fashion. They'll all have to go away now, raise their game, scratch their heads. But in fairness to him and the others, they have had terrific testing time with Honda. They came here with this bike in very, very good shape. Most of the other teams will openly confess they're playing catch-up in terms of development time, and I can assure you when we go to Thruxton in 2 weeks' time for round 2, it will be a very, very different story. But what a terrific display. 50 points in the bag to the young Japanese as he heads for the checkered flag. The HM Plant Honda team ecstatic with the double victory, and the scrap for second still raging hard, but they are pleased. Honda top brass delighted. Rutter over the line in second place. Lavia gets third. There he is congratulating the race winner, Chianari. What a terrific result. Confirmation of that scintillating second race win by Chianari. Sean Emmett fought well early on but dropped down to 5th, and Lavia is on the rostrum yet again. Well, this is it. 22 laps of the 2.356 mile Thruxton circuit awaits the riders. They are very tense here. You'll hear the bikes click into gear, throttles being feathered, clutch being feathered, and when the lights go, we have go. Carl Harris gets away very well, but Ryuichi Chianari jumps in. No, it isn't. It's Emmett. It's Sean Emmett on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha leading the pack away. What a cracking start he had from the word go. We had Yamaha, Honda. Carl Harris's Honda was there on the front row. He's in 3rd place, but it's Rutter in 2nd, Chianari in 4th, and it looks to me, James, like Glenn Richards on the first of the 2 Kawasaki's. They've got to take it easy, surely, on cold tyres.
Yeah, I mean, the tyres have had the warmers on, but this is a circuit that has so much side grip, and the speed in the corners are so great that the tyres will, after the warm-up lap, be essentially ready to go, particularly on the right-hand side. Most corners around Thruxton, right-handed corners, as you can see.
I took a look after practice on the warm-up on the right-hand side of the tyre, certainly seemed to be taking some stick, but this Yamaha, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha, Sean Emmett's out in front, the big bang engine formation, it should help. The power delivery from that bike should help Emmett out of the bends, it should help his tyre life, but already 4 of them stretching away.
Yeah, in actual fact, Barry, this is the place it didn't want. They thought the big bang might not work so well, but he's got away from the start, and yeah, Emmett, this is a perfect start for him and Rob Mack's Virgin team.
The Honda UK of Carl Harris, the Honda UK bike, up into 2nd, past the 2 factory HM Plant bikes. Michael Rutter carrying number 2 on the bike. 3rd in the race, number 2 on the bike, denoting that he was 2nd in the championship last year. He definitely... Oh, that's Jeremy McWilliams. Jeremy McWilliams is off.
That's out the chicane. His eyesight coming out of the right-hander onto the start and finish out the chicane. That's very lucky because, as you can see, there's a little run-off there.
Well, the Stobart team have been unlucky this weekend. They just haven't got the setting right. And Jeremy McWilliams, Grand Prix experience or not, it doesn't matter a bit. But they're going to go either side of him here. Rutter goes one side, Chianari stands back and takes a watching brief, and this is the favourite passing place into the chicane at Thruxton. It's where everything happens, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes bunching up there. Oh, look at Chianari's bike. It turns quickly, but it looks unstable. We're looking at Chianari now, the number 6 Honda in 4th place. Is it going to be 3rd place coming out of the slipstream of Carl Harris? Harris, though, fighting back from Sheffield. Very gritty, tough Yorkshireman. Does not give ground very easily, but he's certainly going to have a battle on his hands in this his first full year in British Superbike. He had the Rizzle Suzuki year, but that was a bit of a problem for him. A cautious look over the shoulder from race leader Sean Emmett. Well, as you saw at the top of the program, the HM Plant Honda's going ahead. It's Chianari hits the front. Chianari relegating Emmett to 2nd place. Rutter there in 3rd. Harris in 4th. Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki in 5th.
Yeah, and both the factory Hondas showing the pace there. Almost one either side of Emmett, and Kianari taking the wide way round into the chicane. It's a really weird chicane. You can't brake because you're leant over. But he's pulled that off perfect and just looks to have put about half a second to everybody within half a lap.
This was probably Michael Rutter's big chance at the championship. He's up to second place now, past Emmett, in pursuit of his flying young teammate. And Emmett, if he's not careful, is going to come under some pressure from Glenn Richards, who's gone past Carl Harris. Leon Haslam, the number 91 Airwaves Ducati bike, is there lurking as well. Lavia's doing a sterling job, but look at Carl Harris round the outside, and it's...
Will he stick? Oh. He's got to do. He's going to stick.
It's a block pass. There was nowhere for Richards to go.
Oh.
That's unsettled him.
It has. He tried to get up the inside again, put the power on a little bit early, got the rear end sliding, had to close off. That's cost him 3 places.
Well, Carl Harris did everybody a favour there, not least of all himself, but Gregorio Lavia now riding round, coming up to the complex. Into the complex, Lavia's on the inside and he makes it stick. The Ducati turns so quickly and he rides it hard on the tight line as well.
It does, he seems to be able to hold tight lines, but remember, Barry, this is a perfectly sorted bike that is a world championship, world superbike.
Look at that Ducati now of Lavia wriggling as he goes past Emmett. What a great move.
Yeah, and also he set that move up coming out of church. He kept it on the inside, let it run and got a long fast run onto the back straight, and that's what carried him past Emmett Yamaha.
There's Rob McElnay, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha team boss in the pits. He has to be reasonably pleased. Back with our race leader, the 22-year-old Ryuichi Kianari. Now, what's going through Kianari's head at this precise moment?
He'll be enjoying this. I mean, he'll be riding well within himself, even though I saw him sliding. He won't be doing anything till we've seen how considered and how careful he is with the back markers at Brands. And this is a man who's just going to be... He's realised he's won now. He'll be singing in his helmet.
Fantastic. Listen to the air horns. That's a popular spot for the spectators there. The checker flag awaits Kianari. The Honda, HM Plant Honda team, absolutely delighted. There's Neil Tuxworth, fist in the air for Kianari. Rutter comes home in second, and a great ride for Lavia to get it on the rostrum yet again. 3 rostrums out of 3 for Airwaves Ducati, and Rutter, well, there's Colin Wright in the Airwaves Ducati pit. He's thrilled. James Hayden's there as well. What must he be thinking?
That must be terrible for James Hayden to watch. You've got a teammate that just comes in for 2 rounds till you're fixed again, and he's putting in performances like Lavilla. Fantastic. They cannot get rid of Lavilla now.
Well, there it is. A 1-2 for HM Plant Honda. Kianari the winner. Confirmation of the result. It was nearly 10 seconds was the gap. Lavia a further 3 seconds back. Haslam, Emmett, Carl Harris 6th again. Well, 22 laps again. What can they do this time? Watch Sean Emmett. He had a really good start in race 1. The revs build, the lights go, and a flying start. Oh, and Haslam got a good one this time. Leon Haslam got the Airwaves Ducati out in front as they stream down towards the complex, but Kianari sweeping round the outside. Michael Rutter there in close contact as well, and Gregorio Lavia got the second Airwaves Ducati off the line much better, but Haslam got a flyer.
Yeah, but let's see what Lavilla can do from a lot better start. He needed to get away with the 2 Hondas, and he has done. Let's see what he can do with it.
Well, in 5th place it's Carl Harris. Lavia's there right behind him. Scott Smart got a good start as well. John Reynolds well down in the order, and I think John's got to put this race down to experience this weekend. He'll be back for Mallory in 2 weeks' time. He'll be a lot fitter. Meanwhile, back at the front, Kianari, number 6 on the HM Plant Honda, rocketing away now. Leon Haslam on the booming Ducati is right there now in 3rd, but Rutter's up to 2nd. Sean Emmett on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha on the back wheel of Leon Haslam on the fastest part of the circuit, 185 miles an hour before they go down the gearbox. Haslam squeezes through the inside. Breathe in, Leon. He's coming through, and he certainly does.
And that's Emmett desperate for the Hondas not to get away. He really needs to stay with the 2 Hondas if he's going to do anything by the end of the race. The boots have titanium toe sliders on because the toes get so near the floor that they actually ground sometimes, especially around Thruxton where the undulations mean that the suspension bobs up and down. and that toe slider's there to stop it wearing the leather away and then eventually wearing his toes away.
But it also tells you just how hard Sean Emmett is pushing, but to no avail. Sheer power out of the slipstream. The airways Ducati goes past the Virgin Mobile Yamaha, down the gearbox again, hard on the front brakes, standing on its nose. Lavia is a man on a mission, and ahead of him, the two factory HM Plant Hondas. Chianari leads Rutter. Rutter's got his own agenda in this race as well. As we've discussed throughout this programme, he wants to do something about the young Japanese. There's Colin Wright, absolutely delighted. I haven't seen him grin like that for ages.
You never see him smile, Barry. He must be really pleased with the way Lavilla's gone. And Lavilla's right on the back of the two Hondas now.
The speed of Lavia has taken both he and Michael Rutter right on the back of Chianari. Obviously, the pit signals from the garage will be telling the race leader that the second and third place men are closing. Look at Lavia. Is he going to dive out the side of Michael Rutter? What a copybook move, and he makes it stick.
He does easy as you like. He went in late on the brakes, didn't let it run wide, held everything together, and there's no way back for Rutter from that.
What a fantastic ride this man's having, and what a tonic he is to the championship. This, the British Championship. We have a Japanese rider leading the race, leading the title, and a Spaniard there in second place. What's happening to the British rider? What's happened to that British rider? That looks pretty dramatic, James.
Yeah, he's obviously had it coming together. He's gone off the track still on the bike, or a brake failure maybe. It doesn't look that big of a crash for the rider. He slides. There's not a lot to hit here at Thruxton. It just looks bad for me because the bike's on fire.
Well, that was one of the Vivaldi team bikes. Either Tristan Palmer or Ben Wilson, don't know, but it was clearly one of the Vivaldi bikes. That's
Tristan.
Well, the pace car is out. Now, what this means... Oh, the pace car's back in. I was about to say they're not allowed to overtake. It was that quick. Once they're over the line, they can go for it. Lavia had to be very careful because Rutter could have stolen a march on him, but the wily Spaniard, if anything, has closed even more on the back of the race leader. I think he caught Chianari with his pants down.
He did. This is exactly what we wanted. Now it's just a straight fight to the end between Chianari and Rutter, and that man there, the meat in the sandwich, Lavilla. Oh, and Chianari out the seat there.
Well, that tells you how hard he's trying. Everybody's giving it 10 tenths, 110% round the Thruxton circuit. Chianari, Lavia, number 36.
Oh, that's
Scott Smart.
That's Scott Smart. The bike's blown. Oh, he's running for the bus.
Oil smoke everywhere. I think he's obviously trying to get back to the pits. Maybe he thinks there's a chance the race will be stopped. Sean Emmett on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha can see a rostrum, but look at the scrap between these two. He's never been as close as he is now as they come round to last time. He's on the inside line, really giving it 100%, and he was just too tight to get the power on there. Can he do it? Can he get the drag up Woodham Hill?
He's going to try. He wants to be in the slipstream of the Honda because we know how quick that factory Honda is.
They do go away, there's no doubt about it. They deliver phenomenal horsepower, and Chianari seems to get it down on the tarmac. But Gregorio Lavia...
He's not giving up.
No, he's certainly not. He's stuck in there at the chicane. Now, that was a very, very quick lap. Over the line they go, and Lavia has set a new lap record in pursuit of Chianari, 1:15.577, and Lavia's done it. So Hislop's 4-year record, the late great Steve Hislop, has finally fallen. Fantastic.
Unbelievable.
What an entertaining man. I think they're both tyres, sets of tyres on both those bikes are pretty well shot. It looks as though there's not a lot left.
Final chicane. He's just too far back.
He is. He can let it run on a bit if he lets the brakes off. He's too wily for that. He's going to have to settle for second. But another rostrum for Lavia. He's not been off the rostrum. A mini wheelie from Chianari. Rutter gets third, so it's HM Plant Honda first and third, much to their delight. There's Taddy Okada. He doesn't smile a great deal either, but he certainly is smiling today. Lavia said, well done, son, you did really well. And Rutter, third, is the best he could do, but what an incredible race.
What a fantastic race, Barry.
There it is, confirmation of that 4 wins in a row for Chianari. Lavia, well, we had our hearts in our mouths. Sean Emmett, 4th place. Richards, much better this time with 5th. Jeremy McWilliams, well, that's a good result for him. They need to get some consistent scores. John Reynolds, reigning champion, not on the scoreboard this time. Maximum points for Chianari. Lavia then sitting there on 72. Rutter, Emmett in 4th. Richards 5th. Carl Harris 6th.
Now, Honda rider Ryuichi Kiyanari is looking like a hard man to beat and has only actually come under threat in one race so far this season, which was by Gregorio Lavia in race 2 at Thruxton. But the Spaniard has only been deputising for James Hayden in the Airwaves Ducati team, and with James now fit and not enough bikes to go round, where does that leave the Spanish super sub?
Obviously, it's an awkward position to be in, but you know, we've. Obviously I'm a team player and I've stepped aside and allowing sort of Gregorio to race, and that's that.
I won a race and I felt really good with this team, and when they offers me the chance to continue the job we start, I accept, of course.
That must be so tough, seeing somebody going out on your bike for the rest of the season.
Yeah, definitely. It's like watching someone kiss your wife. You know what I mean? You just don't want to see it.
30 laps of the 1.4-mile Mallory Park circuit. The revs rise. Glenn Richards there, look at him, very focused. Dean Thomas alongside. Down go the clutches, the lights go. A quick wheelie from Kiyanari, number 6. And has he got the whole shot? He's devastatingly quick off the line, and he has. Into the lead then. First and second for the HM Plant Hondas. It was a good start by one of the Airwaves Ducatis, and it was Lavia. Lavia, contrary to everything I said at the start of the race, got away there in 4th place behind Glenn Richards, and as they go into Edwinas for the first time, Lavia then has got a cracking start on the Ducati, and not known for Ducatis around this circuit. They get always a bit of a twitch from Rutter. These are tense times, James.
Yeah, several people on the grass at Edwinas. It's a one-line corner. Several people going line abreast, and only one of them's going to come out. There's only one way, and that's to take to the grass if there's more than one rider goes in at once.
Exiting the Devil's Elbow for the first time then. Kiyanari leads. This is his 5th race in the championship. He's won 4 of them, and he's absolutely on fire, the young Japanese, there's no doubt about it. Look at the lead he has already. Kiyanari stretching out from Rutter, and Rutter must be oh, what a huge crash! What a huge crash!
That's Harris.
Carl Harris.
That's a big accident.
Oh dear me, what a huge crash that was. And I saw somebody else out of my left eye. It's Lavia.
That was a big crash. I can only assume that they got hooked together, or I don't know what. Middle of Gerrard's, very quick, 110 miles an hour. Oh, that's an unbelievable crash. Look at the bike.
Well,
destroyed.
That's wrecked. That's absolutely wrecked. That Honda Fireblade is no more, certainly for today. They'll have to get it sorted, but that's left it still pretty tense at the front. There's a Vivaldi bike in 5th. And that's Tristan Palmer by the look of it, isn't it? It's a good start by the Vivaldi bike in 5th place. He was the lad who had such a huge crash at Thruxton. We saw the bike burst into flames, but he's on it here. The Kawasaki's line astern. Kiyanari's out of shape. He's on the grass. He's into the tyre wall. Oh, what a big crash, James. What happened?
He got the back end in the air, a little bit too much front brake. The back end came in the air and just sent him towards the grass, and obviously on the grass not a lot of grip. He did well to get off it as early as he did. The sooner you can get off the bike when you're on the grass, the more you're slowing down.
Well, the early stages of this first race here at Mallory, and huge drama already, and it was said that maybe this circuit was a little bit too tight for 220 brake horsepower superbikes, and we have a restart. That was a red flag. We have a restart, so this is a fresh race, as it were. They line up in the positions in which they were when the race was stopped, which means that Lavia
Tristan Palmer into the lead.
Tristan Palmer on the Vivaldi Kawasaki. Tristan Palmer, what a cracking start. He's leading the bunch round here. His moment has come, surely.
Yeah, this is him leading a host of factory-back bikes.
The Hawk Kawasaki slides underneath Tristan Palmer, but he's there in 3rd place. Momentarily then, briefly, he led, but he had his moment of glory, and that will not have escaped the attention of 1 or 2 team bosses round here. And the 1 or 2 riders at the end of the day, get their marching orders, because certainly some guys have not delivered.
That's right, there's a lot of people not delivered this year, and certainly there's a lot of young guys coming through who are looking promising, like Tristan Palmer.
Well, Michael Rutter leading would not have wanted to have been leading under these circumstances with his young teammate sideline, but nevertheless, I'm sure he'll take the 25 points. But look at Tristan Palmer in 3rd place then, ahead of Leon Haslam and Virgin Mobile Yamaha's Tommy Hill, and they in turn lead Dean Thomas. Thomas, the number 12. Oh, a big twitch from the 17th, Vivaldi Kawasaki, almost out of the seat, now they're swarming all over him.
Yeah, and it looks like Tristan Palmer's just holding the bunch up behind him. I think once you'll see once one gets past him, the rest will be desperate to get past him.
But fair credit to him, he's doing a great job. He really is piling on the coals here, but breathing down his neck now, moving on to the inside line. Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile, the Big Bang Yamaha, having a look. Dean Thomas as well, they're tucking on the inside of Palmer. Hill is through. Tommy Hill passes the Kawasaki. Down to fourth then goes Tristan Palmer. And all of that traffic meant that the race leader, Michael Rutter, the second place man, Glenn Richards, number 75, have been able to stretch the gap. Now he's got a fight on his hands. He knows he's in a race.
Yep, and this is Dean Thomas and also Haslam trying to get past Tristan Palmer. As I say, the longer they stay behind Tristan Palmer, the more the front three are getting away.
Sean Emmett, number 5 there, is coming up to play as well. You know, it really is a big boys race now, and none of them like being behind someone they would have thought maybe to be a junior rider, but he's certainly not riding like a junior rider. Leon Haslam, though, tucks it underneath, and Tristan Palmer gives as good as he gets, stays with him. Now it's Thomas's turn. Almost contact. We breathed in here in the commentary point, and I'm quite sure Tristan Palmer is now getting a superbike lesson.
Yeah, to put up Tristan Palmer getting beaten to a pulp there. And and that's Emmett under him as well now.
Well, in fairness, it will have unsettled him, and Gerrard's is not the place you want somebody tucking underneath you at 100 miles an hour plus. Thomas, though, clearly angry at the fact that Haslam got past him while he was biding his time behind Tristan Palmer, has now got his act together, and he's on the tail of the Airwaves Ducati.
Yeah, Tom Hill having a storming ride here in third.
Out of the Devil's Elbow, Haslam, number 91. Yet Hill in the air, hand in the air, mechanical problem. Tommy Hill out of the race, having such a good ride as well.
Yeah, having a brilliant ride, no smoke, it maybe looks like a transmission or something like that.
Sean Emmett on the inside, beautifully through. Number 33, Michael Laverty, the quickest of these Stobart Hondas. Gradually, they're getting there, these boys. There are 3 Dean Thomas, an almighty, almost high side.
Yeah, he got the power on round Gerrard's, 110, 150 miles an hour, lost the back end, just closed the throttling time. The thing gripped, but just didn't have enough energy to throw him over the high side. Very lucky.
Well, we may get a second look at that, but certainly Dean Thomas wouldn't want to have a second look at it. I think there's Rutter on the final lap. He is away now, clear of Glenn Richards. He must be singing to himself, not at his teammates' misfortune, but to the fact that he is on his way to 25 points through the bus stop chicane. Heading now for the adverse camber, left-hander, the Devil's Elbow, 30 laps completed. Michael Rutter, his first victory in the 2005 championship. He could not be more delighted. He thumps the tank with ecstasy, and he's saying, I know what he's saying yes, yes. Neil Tuxworth, the Honda team boss, well, it's a Honda victory, not the one they would have wanted, possibly.
Yeah, you don't want to win them that way, but they all count. The points count at the end of the year.
And there it is, Rutter, Richards, Haslam on the rostrum for the first time. Scott Smart was 5th, just behind Emmett. Reigning champion John Reynolds' injured leg proved too much to cope with. He's going to take a rain check on this one. Well, 30 laps again, a huge crowd. They've had no shortage of entertainment here at Mallory. The revs rise, the tension builds likewise. Everyone has moved up a slot on the grid due to Kianara's absence, and behind Reynolds they all gain a place as well. But it's Rutter hitting the front again. Glenn Richards and Dean Thomas on the 2 Kawasaki's. Both the Ducatis of Haslam and Levere got super starts this time. They're in 4th and 5th respectively, and Carl Harris not to be outdone. Somebody's on the grass there, grass tracking already. Tense moments down into Edwina's, and they have to tippy-toe through there, but everyone through safely.
Yeah, this time everybody stayed on the tarmac, which is always a good thing. Lavilla's made a good start, but it remains to be seen how quick he'll go from the start, having fell off on a cold tyre the first race.
Well, the red and yellow liveried bike there of Carl Harris, such a huge crash he had. He's obviously on the spare machine, and he will have felt the pain of that. Battered and bruised, his very words to describe how he feels. But he'll be back in full swing for Oulton Park. He's got Scott Smart breathing down his neck at the moment, and we have a 7 machine breakaway. Rutter leads, number 2. then 75, Richards, then number 12, Dean Thomas, in close company, then the two Airwave Ducatis welded together. The number 36, Lavia, going a little bit wide, but it paid dividends, slotting into 4th place and beating up his teammate Leon Haslam in the process. Carl Harris, fallen out the hairpin.
Dennis Hobbs. Oh, yeah, big eyesight, too much power out the hairpin. It's only 30 miles an hour corner, but you tend to go up and down for an eyesight at such speed.
Slammed down on the tarmac, young Dennis Hobbs. He had a neck injury last year, came back from that injury. He'll be back, of course, Dennis Hobbs then. Everybody avoided him, that's the main thing. When you're lying in the track, it's not easy. But these men have plenty of things on their mind apart from lying on the track. What they have to do is keep it on 2 wheels, keep it on the island. Rutter will be aware of the bevy. Oh, what a huge crash!
That's one of the Yamahas.
An unbelievably big crash.
One of the Yamahas. It looks like...
Still cartwheeling. Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill, number 8, Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Tommy Hill, red flag, race stoppage. Talk us through.
Classic eyesider. Too much power, left hand of the tyre, colder than the right hand side. He shuts the throttle. It's gone out too far and it flicks him over the top. Let's hope he's all right. Oh, he's up. That's a good thing.
Well, the word launched describes that, and the crowd there, they've had their money's worth this weekend.
He must be thinking there's easier ways to make a living, must Tommy.
Right, yet another restart, and this is what the crowd love. They love the action. Is Rutter going to do it yet again? Or maybe Glenn Richards can get the drop this time from 2nd place on the grid. The green Kawasaki does indeed get the drop, and into 3rd place goes his teammate Thomas. Rutter then the filling in the sandwich at the moment, and some of the Cup riders bringing up the rear, and it still looks like an absolutely packed grid. This has been a race of attrition, and we've still got a full grid.
Yeah, it's true, there's still a lot of riders out there. Oh, that's one of them off back of the pack, maybe.
That's James Buckingham.
He's Buckingham.
That's young James Buckingham, who went so well in practice. He was on the front row at one stage.
Yeah, he's been having a cracking meeting, unfortunate for the lad.
Rutter then in front at the hairpin, the two Kawasaki's with him. Gregorio Lavia is down in 5th behind his teammate Haslam, who got the drop this time. And I will tell you, this is a separate race. After the stoppage, the old aggregate system of previous years has gone to the wall. This is a straight race. You are looking at the leader on the road and the leader in the race, Michael Rutter. The two Kawasaki's, 2nd and 3rd. Lavia obviously feeling his way, because after that big crash in the first race, the last thing he wants to do is test his tyres beyond the limit.
Yeah, you're quite right, Barry. You reckon he fell off because of cold tyres in the first race. Richards going up the inside of Rutter, and also Lavilla straight through on his teammate Haslam.
Well, I have to say, Richards has got that Kawasaki stopping and turning to perfection. It really is set up. Could be something to do with the extra track time they get, because Stuart Hicken, the Hawk Kawasaki boss, is the circuit manager here at Mallory, and it could be the Kawasaki's have got home track advantage.
Yeah, that's right. They've done more testing it than anybody else, and if anybody knows the way around the bumps and twists of Mallory Park, it's going to be the two Hawk Kawasaki guys.
Rutter then on the tail of Richards, number 75, and lining him up, going into Gerrard's, and the HM Plant Honda pulling off a copybook overtaking, or should I say undertaking move. It really is brilliant. Up the inside, round Gerrard's, 100 miles an hour plus, feeding the power in, the back wheel of the Honda just moving slightly on the tarmac, but perfect control for Michael Rutter. He is not a crasher. We don't very often, and I hope I'm not the commentator's curse, we do not very often see Rutter on the tarmac.
That's right, and one thing that wins championships is staying on your bike. You can, like Kinari, wins the first 4 races, but then he's out for 2, and it looks like Rutter's going to go away from this meeting with the championship lead. That's a blown bike.
That's a badly blown bike, and that looks like Michael Pensavali, one of the Cup runners. Oh, it's let go in a big way, James.
Yeah, look at that oil on the rear tyre. Means he will really looking to save that. It happened halfway around Devil's Elbow. It's going to be a really nasty one, that.
Another stoppage, so we're going to have a second restart here for race 2. And the sun has gone in. It's a little bit cooler as well. Whether that's affected tyre choice or not, we do not know. But it's a cracking start again by Glenn Richards. It's business. He's having a good day at the office.
Yeah, certainly they've been practicing starts of the Kawasaki boys. It's fantastic. They haven't made a bad start all day.
But Rutter sees a victory on the cards here, and he's powering round the outside of Glenn Richards, exiting Gerrard's, lining him up for Ed Wieners. Rutter snatches the lead back, relegating the Kawasaki to second. So Kawasaki second and third. The Ducatis were a little bit tardy off the line, so both Haslam and Lavia have got their work cut out if they think there's a rostrum ahead of them. And Lavia lining up maybe just for a passing move, but he's down there at the moment out of a rostrum place. First place, number 2, 75. Oh, look at Thomas. Thomas is on a mission as well, the number 12.
Yeah, if there's one thing to get you wound up, it's your teammate beating you, and that's obviously Dean Thomas is not having any of it, and he's going for it as well.
Well, he can see his teammate moving ahead now into the lead, because Glenn Richards has now relegated Rutter. Rutter's not having any of it. He knows he's got a race on his hands. He's in the middle here, taking that wide line. Glenn Richards, though, staying really... Oh, he hit the curb! Hit the curb at the hairpin. Unbelievable stuff, but he's still there. He knows just how tight he can go. Rutter might have been a little bit disconcerted there, because that could have ended in tears.
Yeah, it could. Actually, he just turned in a little bit early and caught his shoulder on the inside of the really tall curb at the hairpin. That might have unsettled him a bit, and Rutter's through again into the lead.
And that was sheer speed. He got the drive out of the devil's elbow, Michael Rutter, number 2, and took the HM Plant Honda. There, Jeremy McWilliams retired. What a miserable and wretched day he's had, but it's all happening. It's a Honda in the race lead. Regrettably for him, it's not a Stobart Honda, it's an HM Plant Honda. As up to third goes number 36, Gregorio Lavia. What has Dean Thomas got to do to get in the top 3 here today? He's being beaten up, and they are on their last lap up to the hairpin for the final time. Approaching now out of the Lake S's. Here they come. Can Lavia do anything in the closing moments of this race? He's gone in a little bit deep. The Ducatis aren't that hot round here in terms of handling. The nimble 4-cylinder bikes turn a little bit quicker, and they drive better out of the devil's elbow. And it's Rutter then on his way to victory number 2. Glenn Richards second. Maximum for Michael Rutter. 50 points and a fantastic win for him, albeit at his poor teammates' expense. And there the young man is, disconsolate in the garage.
Good to see him up and about, though.
Absolutely, it was a big crash. Michael Rutter celebrates in traditional style, and their confirmation of the result. What a good day for Richards as well. Runner-up twice, Lavia back on the rostrum, Haslam and Thomas there, Carl Harris another 6th.
Well, once Mallory was over with, rumours were rife in pit lane. James Hayden, who thought he'd be without a ride for the rest of the season due to circumstances that led to his departure from the Airways Ducati team, will now be riding for Rizla Suzuki. James will be deputising for the defending champion John Reynolds, who'll miss out on 2 rounds after failing to recover from his broken leg. Now, you've spoken to us previously, obviously, saying that, you know, you wanted to defend your title. Do you feel that that is out of the window now?
The title front is gone, yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, the way that the Michael's going on the Honda and everybody else, you know, it's going to be hard. My goal now is to come back and to win races and to finish the year where I know I should be, and that is, you know, on the podium with the top 3 or 4 boys.
Well, this is Michael Rutter's big chance. He starts from pole position. There is no but Haslam's had a problem on the warm-up lap. He's in there, so there's drama even before the race begins. Leon Haslam, oh, even more double drama. He's on the spare bike. Obviously a problem with his number 1 bike. He will have to start the race from pit lane. That means he'll be bog last. As the lights go, there's obviously a vacant place on the grid. Haslam was on the front row. There's the gap. Ready for 18 laps then of the 2.7 mile Oulton Park circuit, and Leon Haslam will have to join them at the back as number 75, Glenn Richards, followed by his teammate Dean Thomas on the Hawk Kawasaki's, lead the field round for the first time. There's Haslam out of pit lane. Leon Haslam already picking off 2 or 3, but he's joined at the back, and he will have his work cut out because Oulton Park is not an easy overtaking circuit, and in these days of 200 horsepower plus superbikes, everybody's very quick, particularly the Hawk Kawasaki's, it seems.
Well, the distance between the corners, the faster the bikes go, becomes less and less, and really it is a case of that here. This is the Shell hairpin, the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's in the lead, Glenn Richards from Dean Thomas, and it's great to see them at the front in a superbike race.
In third place, the number 36 Airwaves Ducati of Gregorio Lavia. He has been going so well. A relatively sluggish start by Michael Rutter. He's down there in 6th place alongside Gary Mason, the number 3 Stobart Honda. Rutter knows that this is his big chance with Ryuichi Kiyanari sidelined after his Mallory crash. An examination, I can put it no other way, a head scan basically showed that he had a bit of slight bruising. We have an 8-day rule in Superbikes. If you have any concussion, you have to sit out the following weekend. That's what Kiyanari's doing, but he'll be back for Mondello. Meanwhile, the 2 Kawasaki's, Michael Rutter is in there. Gregorio Lavia, Carl Harris, number 9 on the Honda UK bike as Gary Mason holds good that station on the Stobart Honda, keeping Rutter behind. All of these people need to make hay while the sun shines here at Oulton Park.
They do, they need to make hay while the sun shines, because Rutter, once he gets those tyres warmed up and gets into the flow of this, I'm sure will start to move forward in this race. Meanwhile, a great ride from Carl Harris in 4th spot. But what about Lavia? What about Lavia in 3rd? He's all over the back of the Kawasaki's now, and he's making this track completely new to everyone because he's able to ride on lines that nobody thought existed.
With the exception of Silverstone later in the year. Oh, Lavia touched Dean Thomas, number 12, Dean Thomas. He not only heard the Ducati, he would have felt it against his right knee.
This is it. He runs hot into the shell hairpin, and look at that. He really shouldn't be doing that so early in a race, but I suppose he's that desperate to get to the front.
Well, I was about to say that with the exception of Silverstone, where we go later in the year, Donington Park, Lavia is seeing all of these circuits for the first time, reminiscent of the days of Troy Bayliss when he came over here riding for the GSE Ducati team and threw up to 2nd place. No, he doesn't. He goes in too hard, goes wide from 2nd to 4th in one fell swoop. Lavia gives out to Michael Rutter, who's now in 3rd.
Well, you can't make mistakes, and look at Rutter now coming through on the back of Dean Thomas. He's got to take 2nd here, and he does very smoothly, very nicely indeed. He knows this track like the back of his hand. People describe it as a mini Isle of Man TT, this track, and who better at the Isle of Man TT than Michael Rutter?
Well, he's such an accomplished rider. Lavia moving into 3rd place, past the number 12 Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas. So the Airwaves Ducati in 3rd. Rutter now into the lead. Numero uno for Michael Rutter. He leads the Hawk Kawasaki of Glenn Richards. Lavia in 3rd. 3 different machine makes, and they are all vying at the top of the championship, these men. And it is no surprise. What a closely fought Bennett's British Superbike Championship we have in 2005.
Rutter slightly extending his lead now, and look at Carl Harris moving through to 4th spot.
Number 75, Richards coming under enormous pressure because Harris is looking oh so menacing, and Lavia making a move. Up to 2nd goes Gregorio Lavia on the Airwaves Ducati. Harris saw that. He'll be thinking, maybe I'll have a go there next time.
Well, Harris is already alongside, but Richards are defending the line into Lodge Corner. Well, 50, 60 miles an hour through here, getting the power on hard. This is an important point, because can Carl Harris now squirt alongside him over the line? Yes is the answer to that, and take that 3rd spot into Old Hall. No! Richards goes back across the front of him. What great racing.
Well, I can tell you, Carl Harris's telemetry recorded 168 miles an hour over the start-finish. Rob McElnay disenchanted because Sean Emmett, he is carrying an arm injury still, has retired from the race, shaking his head. Perspiration running down his face, but I'm sure there's plenty of perspiration running down the faces of these people as Glenn Richards goes back up to 2nd. It's now an 8-wheeler. Dean Thomas hasn't given up fighting either. The number 12 Hawk Kawasaki. Look at Carl Harris. They're 3 abreast going into Old Hall. Carl Harris now up to 3rd. Richards then established, but away in the lead is Michael Rutter. He's gone.
Well, Lavia's really getting some action here, but he's getting a lesson on how to ride Oulton Park. You make one mistake and you get punished. And he's made a couple of mistakes and he's been getting punished, but he's not sitting back and taking it. He's now up the inside of Glenn Richards. No, Richards nearly closed the door on him, but didn't, and Lavia's back up to 3rd.
Meanwhile, Carl Harris then 2nd place, Lavia, side by side. You can't do it there, Gregorio. It is not done round the outside, but according to him, why not?
Inventing new lines at Oulton Park, Gregorio Lavia. I said it earlier in the race, that's Leon Haslam's girlfriend. Ron Haslam in the background there, the father to Leon, and Leon Haslam's now on the back of these. He's come from the pit lane up into 6th place.
Well, he must have been lapping. We don't have the exact times. He must have been lapping at race leader pace and more, because he's caught them. Haslam is on the back now of this freight train. His teammate Gregorio Olivier, number 36, is in 2nd place in the race. And Leon Haslam, there he is. He's ahead of Dean Thomas. He's splitting the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's. So this is nothing short of an amazing ride by Leon Haslam. Can he? Is it impossible to think he might get this thing on the rostrum?
The back end of the bike shaking there as he exits Cascade down towards Island Bend. He's side by side with Glenn Richards. I don't know who's gone through, and Haslam has made it. Haslam now up into 4th place. Well, realistically, there's just 2 guys in front of him that he realistically could target to overtake before the end of this race, and he's got them well within his sights.
Well, Leon spent his formative years, and when talking about he's in 4th place in 125s, came up to the ranks. He carries very, very high corner speed, not necessarily the way to ride a superbike, but it's paying dividends here. His corner speed is incredibly high. He's looking on the brakes now to go inside. Carl Harris, collision! They're both on the grass. They're still on it though. Oh, Harris is still, no place gained, none lost. So it's status quo, but that has unnerved Leon just a little bit, but he won't give up. He's like a terrier after the back of Carl Harris. Meanwhile, that handed 2nd place to Gregorio Olivier, absolutely on a plate. The challenge has faded. This is a battle for 3rd. Rutter then coasting home with about 500 yards to go. Down through and up over Dearly. The checkered flag is in sight for Michael Rutter. It's celebration wheelie time, and race 1 goes to the number 2 HM Plant Honda of Michael Rutter. Olivier gets 2nd. Who's going to get 3rd? It's neck and neck, but Carl Harris, number 9, got it. Honda 1st, Ducati 2nd, Honda 3rd. But there's the winner, Michael Rutter on the number 2 HM Plant bike. Incredible. Confirmation of the result then, you saw it for yourself. Harris, great 3rd. Haslam, what a ride from the back of the grid. The 2 Kawasaki's, 5th and 6th. Great to see James Hayden on a motorcycle. He's standing in for the injured John Reynolds for at least 2 of these rounds. What can James Hayden do? He was 8th in the first race on the Rizzler Suzuki. Can he go better this time? It's very wet. The entire front 2 rows were on full wet tyres. We've had torrential rain between the races, and everybody will tippy-toe round the first of the 18 laps this time. It's declared a wet race, which means it will not be stopped under any circumstances. And already Michael Rutter easing away. He was always known as the Rain Man. His prowess, his expertise in wet weather riding, dare I say, second to none.
Wet or dry for Michael Rutter, that's the case at the moment. We saw him win the earlier race today, and he's in the lead in this one, but that's not it, because the conditions can change over 18 laps race distance in a race on a 2.7 mile track. The sun could come out here. We've witnessed wet and dry all day, and that's going to affect things. He's running Michelin tyres at the front, whereas most of the other guys in the field are running Dunlop tyres, and that means that they perform differently. They have different characteristics as the weather and the track temperature changes.
Up to 4th place this time, the number 18 Rizzler Suzuki of James Hayden. Michael Rutter leads, number 2. In 2nd place, the number 75 Hawk Kawasaki, Glenn Richards. Then it is Carl Harris, number 9. There is James Hayden, just creeping into your picture now. He'll be firing John Reynolds' GSX-R 1000 Suzuki up over Clay Hill. Hayden delighted to be on the bike this weekend and doing a good job. Qualified very well, sitting in 4th in this one. Breathing down his neck, though, is Leon Haslam, number 91. And don't forget, in our competition, you can win a replica of the bike that James Hayden is riding, currently sitting in 4th place at the moment.
Haslam looking on the inside of Hayden. Haslam looking quite confident. We saw him start from the pit lane in the earlier race today and come through to finish in 3rd spot. Carl Harris now on bike number 9, looking on the inside of Glenn Richards, quite tentatively, I would say.
Everybody, bar none, will suffer tyre degradation. The tyres just heat up. They are not designed for a dry line. But Hayden is doing a terrific job. They're closing on the back now of the 3rd place, and Hayden is up to 3rd. He goes past Glenn Richards. He's up to 3rd place on the Rizzler Suzuki. Richards relegated to 4th. Haslam sitting there in 5th, just waiting. Rutter is away down the avenue towards Cascades, looking like another double for Michael Rutter, and Haslam has gone up to 4th. So Glenn Richards just sliding backwards a little bit here. He's on the same tyres as Haslam, so it's not really a question of that, it's just Haslam was so brave down there.
Look at Hayden's visor. Hayden's got a dark tinted visor. Everybody else has got a clear visor. I can't believe he's running one of those in the rain. You really don't want one of those on. You can't see when the track's starting to dry. It all looks dark. But Haslam coming up the inside of Hayden now into Lodge Corner. Got the advantage into there, no problem.
Leon Haslam up to 3rd on the Airwaves Ducati. So HM Plant Honda leads. Honda UK, Dunlop shod, white power suspension on the Carl Harris machine. Totally, that's Gary Mason. Gary Mason's put the Stobart Honda in the gravel, so a fine 8th in the first race, but he's dumped it in the gravel. Roger.
Front end looks like it's about to tuck. Yep, it did. The front end tucked inside, and there's no way back from that.
Rutter then under some pressure. Carl Harris moving through on the inside to take the race lead. Carl Harris leading the Bennett's British Superbike Race 2 here at Oulton Park, and it's the first time this season that Michael Rutter has seen the back end of that particular red and yellow Honda. Haslam has seen Harris goes through, so he knows Michael Rutter's not invincible, and through, but Michael Rutter on the wet. Haslam just sliding on the dry line and makes it stick.
They were side by side then through Old Hull Corner. Great Superbike action. What a great crowd we've got here today for this Bennett's British Superbike race, and really they're not being let down by the spectacular display that these guys are putting on.
Haslam looking so threatening, he's going to make a move. They're side by side over Hilltop, and Haslam takes the lead down towards his chicane, into the chicane, a dry line evident now, and they've got to try and keep those tyres cool. Degradation will be a serious problem going into the closing stages, although there are spots of rain on the camera lens, but there really is only one racing line around Oulton at racing speeds. Colin Wright, the Airwaves Ducati boss, Neil Tuxworth, the Honda man, with divided loyalties of course, because he has Rutter out there and he has Harris out there. Colin Wright only has one guy out there going well, and Harris has run wide. That's a mistake. Harris has gone wide, drops him down to 3rd. Oh, dearie me, Carl. And as Hayden went past, Hayden's got past. Hayden went past as well. So Harris now 4th. There's the race leader, Leon Haslam. The Ducati moving all over now because the sun is out.
Look at Rutter, he's caught up with Leon Haslam. This is how quickly the track changes the conditions.
On the last lap, Rutter's making a bid for the... Oh, they've collided! They've collided! Rutter stays on, down goes the precautionary foot. He's on, this is incredible stuff. Haslam will not settle for second best here. He senses the 25 points. He senses the victory. The Ducati moving all over the track, but Haslam is just nailing the throttle. Rutter's coming again though. Rutter's coming back at him. They have a quarter of a lap to do here at Oulton Park, going in to the very last bend, Lodge Corner. Round Lodge, pussyfooting it round, get the power on Leon, over the line. Airwaves Ducati heading for their first win of the 2005 season, and Haslam takes the checkered flag. He could not be more delighted. Michael Rutter knew he was in a race, but he gets 20 points as well. It's a good day at the office for Rutter. Second in that one, but Haslam's win confirmed. Carl Harris, a double rostrum, 3rd twice for him. Hayden on the Rizzler Suzuki in 4th. Fantastic. Jonathan Ray then on a Honda, Red Bull Honda, and Lavia out of the points in 16th. Michael Rutter's championship lead now, 56 points from Lavia. Glenn Richards there in 3rd. Chianari and Haslam joint 100. Terrific celebrations for Leon Haslam. Here's an Airwaves Ducati, first win this year and first time not top step for the Honda. Well, what a big moment for the Red Bull protégé there in pole position. 4 different teams across the front row, 2 Hondas, a Ducati, Kawasaki, the revs rise, heading up towards Honda corner. Jonathan Ray didn't get a good start at all. Dreadful, punted off. Jonathan Ray's on the tarmac, into the gravel, mercifully up on his feet. Oh, the poor young man, pole position absolutely wasted, and they're away.
Well, Michael Rutter came across the front, not able to see Jonathan touch the front brake lever on Ray's bike. Down he went. He really did not need that. I feel so sorry for him. Well, very unfortunate. Chianari, though, back at the front, and here he is. Glenn Richards very close behind him. Now Richards has started well, and that's a good sign for the Hawk Kawasaki. Chianari on bike number 6, HM Plant Honda, and that guy in third place is Leon Haslam on the Airwaves Ducati.
Michael Rutter, number 2 in 4th, championship leader. But Ryuichi Chianari, back from injury. We said as soon as he came back he'd start winning races. Well, he qualified 4th, but he's leading this one. The Hawk Kawasaki, 75. In second place, there Leon Haslam, the number 91 Airwaves Ducati in third. This is the battle for first and second. 18 laps of this 2.2-mile Mondello Park circuit in glorious sunshine. Track temperature 26 degrees. It is absolutely perfect compared to yesterday when it was qualifying here. It was bitterly cold for qualifying, but today's a different story. 24,000 people in here. The Irish adore their motorcycle racing, and what an event. Look at the rear wheel of Chianari skipping as he brakes, but Glenn Richards caught him at the Honda turn on the brakes. The 23-year-old Irishman, number 33, on the Stobart Honda, has been riding so well all weekend. He qualified in 6th place, and he's right on the back of Honda UK's Carl Harris.
Yellow flags were out, Barry. Look, there he is. Well, Glenn Richards is down, and Haslam's obviously been off in, well, we don't know if it was the same incident or a separate incident. The marshal there trying to help Glenn Richards to restart his bike. They were running in 2nd and 3rd. Not good news for them in these early stages.
Well, 3 men from the front row are on the grass. That's left the field clear for number 6, Ryuichi Chianari, the 22-year-old Japanese who had 4 flawless race wins from the outset in this year's Bennett's British Superbike Championship, is now leading this race 1 at Mondello Park, and to all intents and purposes well recovered.
Well, Haslam's obviously remounted and back into the race, but on the grass again, and well, looking down at the side of the bike there, and that looked to be terminal to me.
Stobart Honda's line astern, Michael Laverty, number 33, Gary Mason, number 3, right with him, and then pressing hard, it looks like a Rizzler Suzuki. It is indeed James Hayden on the Rizzler Suzuki, so he is on a mission as well. Number 5, Sean Emmett. This is the battle now for 4th place. Sean Emmett in 4th, about to be relegated, I suspect, by Carl Harris, who's looking up hard on the inside, dives up the inside of the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Emmett fights back, a bit of a nudge. Harris, the big burly lad from Sheffield, not used to being barged out of the way, but he took some stick that time. Emmett, though, is now causing the field behind him to bunch up. He is riding defensively. Harris is getting frustrated, but he's on the inside now, Carl Harris. Emmett has got no answer this time. Up to 4th place. Carl Harris in 4th. Hayden too is threatening. Sean Emmett, number 5, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha riders coming out of the Suzuki. Gosh, nicely through James Hayden. 5th place then with his eye. Look at the delight in the Rizzler Suzuki team. Bit, and there Neil Tuxworth, the Honda boss, a little bit circumspect. Taddy Okada as well.
Rutter has not got the race leader in sight. Ryuichi Chianari has gone with this one. He's some 6 seconds ahead of these guys, but is Rutter going to be able to hold on to 2nd?
Well, I don't know. Lavia is on a mission. He's closing. He's so smooth, the Spaniard, the number 36 Airwaves Ducati there. So smooth. They've softened the power on that bike to make it more tractable, make it more deliverable, more user-friendly. Lavia seems to be handling it really well. It's doing everything he asks of it. It's sticking to the tarmac. Rutter now knows he's got a race on his hands. Is he going to be able to keep Lavia at bay? Well, your guess is as good as ours, but look at the lead Chianari has coming into the Dunlop turn with a checkered flag ahead of him. A massive wheelie to celebrate it. Chianari takes the victory at 25 points. Who's going to grab 2nd? Well, we don't know. It's a fight to the flag, but Michael Rutter gets it. HM Plant Honda 1-2, and 16 points in 3rd place go to Lavia. Harris then leading the charge for 4th, and amazingly it's Scott Smart up to 5th ahead of Michael Laverty. Now where's Hayden? There he is, Hayden at the back of the pack. He must have had a last lap incident somewhere around the circuit. His body language tells the story, but there the race winner, Ryuichi Chianari. Michael Rutter, well, are they going to shake hands? I don't know. Rutter, yeah, I think they are. I wonder which one of them is happier. Well, there it is, but what a great fight back by Scott Smart. Up to 5th place, Carl Harris fought hard for 4th, Chianari's win confirmed, Lavia in 3rd. At least 3 of those men on the front row will be hoping to go the full distance this time, because it was a depleted entry that completed the first race. Very much a race of attrition, and this time young Jonathan Ray on the Red Bull Honda's got a much better start, second only to Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki. Richards means business this time, a couple of tail enders dumping it on the tarmac. Okay though, up and back on the bike. Ray in 2nd place, Glenn Richards leads. Ryuichi Chianari, the first race winner, appeared to have got a really good start. He's in 3rd. It's a Ducati, an Airwaves Ducati. Leon Haslam in 4th. The Rizzler Suzuki's bunched up there with the Hydrex Honda of Kieran Clark, deep in the traffic with an awful lot of work to do, but Richards is away with it.
Michael Rutter well down, the championship leader, so he's got work to do as well. But behind him is Gregorio Lavia. So, well, bad starts there. You can see them all bunching up. There's a lot of elbowing going on the first laps in these early stages of a race. But, well, they've all got to jockey for positions because it's really difficult to overtake around this Mondello Park circuit.
Well, the 2 Stobart Hondas are running in line astern again, but strongly. There's Lavity 33, there's Gary Mason. Michael Rutter is behind Gary Mason, and behind Michael Rutter is Gregorio Lavia, who desperately needs another good ride in this one. Young Jonathan Ray, the 18-year-old who started from pole position, had that desperately disappointing first race, going much better this time, breathing down his neck. Now is Ryuichi Chianari, and Ray will do very well to stay ahead of the young Japanese, his senior by 3 years. If he can stay ahead for 2 or 3 laps, then I take my hat off to him. He's certainly doing well.
Doing brilliantly. He came back from injury last year from a broken leg, and Keo looks like he's got the measure of him. That's bike 6, Chianari passing bike 65, Jonathan Ray, and that's down into Honda corner. Keo keeps it all together, makes sure he turns it, squirts it a little bit up to 2nd gear, banks it over left, 75 miles an hour through there, but Haslam's coming. Haslam's now on the back of Jonathan Ray in 4th.
18 laps round here, a tight, physical, demanding, technical circuit, a long way, and Haslam making a bid for 3rd and making it stick.
Talking to Michael Rutter and Chianari, they're running Michelin tyres. They were having front-end grip problems in the earlier race. The rest of this field predominantly on Dunlop tyres, where the front tyre really sticks like glue, and they're struggling to make passing manoeuvres in the race one. And Keo now looking on the inside of Richards, but can't make it. He just can't make it. He hasn't got the really faith in that front end to really stick it under him. No, he's not doing it, and Haslam all the time is inching closer and closer.
And Chianari's bike setup is also very nimble. Look at Haslam! Haslam's on the inside of both of them! And right, 2 in one fell swoop. Haslam then up to the lead of the race. Haslam in 1st place. Chianari making a bid for 2nd. Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki, far too wily. Chianari's having to go the long way around. Can he do anything about it? Oh, what a fantastic move. The gyroscopic effect made the bike shudder as he flicked it from right to left. That was a brilliant overtaking move.
It was a superb overtaking manoeuvre. You don't very often see one like that. That's Haslam's pit crew looking on. That's the pit crew of bike number 91, the lead bike. Now back in the background, what's happening? Laverty's coming up the inside of Richards, and that was a really aggressive move. Oh, he shut the door on Richards. Richards is over the curb, and now Michael Rutter moves forward, and that's Lavia on the back of Rutter. Well, great action there on the approach through this chicane before MG corner.
Well, the Stobart Honda rider did everybody a favour there as he made the move on Glenn Richards, and it was a phenomenal move. Richards moved to the inside to try and fight back. Laverty leaned on him, putting Glenn on the curb. His front wheel touched Laverty's leathers. Glenn Richards was so unsettled. By went Rutter, by went Lavia. He did everybody a favour, but the Irishman Laverty, incredible. But now Lavia is through on the inside of Laverty, up to 3rd place Gregorio Lavia, and Chianari is the HM plant filling in the Airwaves Ducati sandwich. But Michael Laverty is not giving best to the Spaniard. He has reclaimed 3rd place because he is absolutely riding out of his leathers this weekend. The 23-year-old and the Stobart Honda boss Paul Bird now being repaid for his investment in this young man, but now he's down to 4th because Lavia needs the points. Well, with 200 brake horsepower on tap, he's effectively got 200 horses' ears to play with, but he's using them impeccably. Just look at that on the inside. Gregorio Lavia has shown his front wheel to Ryuichi Kiyanari and made it abundantly clear that he wants second place, and he lines up the Japanese rider and takes it. Airwaves Ducati, first and second. And it looks from where we're sitting that Kiyanari just may not have an answer here. The Honda is wriggling a little bit, and in fairness to Kiyanari, he must be feeling the physical exertion.
When we came here, everybody said there's one overtaking place on this circuit. Well, let me tell you, Lavia has made it his own track. He may as well call that corner Lavia Corner.
So maybe they will take your tip and name it after Lavia, because he is fantastically smooth on the inside. Haslam, the riding style contrast is never more evident. Lavia going for a move on his teammate. It has to be clean. He can't punt him off. It has to be a clean move, and it is that famous overtaking place again. Now heading up towards the chicane before MG corner, the right, then the left flip-flop. Lavia's through, MG corner, the sweeping left hand, newly surfaced, new tarmac there, but Lavia knows his way round here. Can he bring it home to the flag? But Kiyanari is pressing Haslam.
Kiyanari's really not showing good racecraft to me. Look at this, he's going up the outside of Haslam, trying to go around the outside in these corners. Now he's switched to the inside, and this might be a chance, but this is only because Haslam really let him through, and really Kiyo's now got ahead of Haslam.
And this is up to second place then. He's back into second. Haslam, though, needs the points as well. Another brave move by Haslam into the last lap. And the Airwaves Ducatis are back first and second. Kiyanari thwarted at Honda turn. He grabbed second, but he left the door open again. That just outbraked himself a little bit, left the door open. Haslam barged his way through. Now, are we going to see team orders here, or is Haslam going to fight back against Lavia? The flag threatens neck and neck. I don't know which one of them got the verdict, but it was an Airwaves Ducati 1-2. Team boss Darrell Healy delighted. Haslam thinks he got it. Lavia thinks he got it. We know who was third. Taddy Okada congratulates Colin Wright. What a fantastic race between those three at the front. Michael Rutter could do no better than fifth, but there is your race winner confirmed, Gregorio Lavia. There it is, confirmed. Haslam, well, it was marginal. It was such a tight runner-up spot. Kiyanari, Laverty, Michael Rutter fifth, Glenn Richards dropped down to sixth, and Jeremy Williams there in 10th place, Gary Mason ahead of him, Steve Plater, John Kirk. Two laps then as the riders form up for race one here. Oh, Harris! It's Carl Harris going into the pit lane there. Obviously had a problem on the warm-up lap, so he's going to have to start the race from pit lane. 2.1 miles round here, 22 laps, 47 miles the race distance. Wait for the revs to rise. 31 riders on the grid and one in pit lane. And there's a problem at the back of the grid. That's Nick Med. He's having to push his Kawasaki back. Michael Rutter doesn't know what it's all about. He's wondering where the delays come from. And away they go. The lights change. Michael Rutter in the lead. And Kawasaki's gone with him, but it looks as though slotting into second place is Ryuichi Kiyanari, number 6 on the HM Plant Honda. So factory Hondas 1-2. Rutter, the series leader, leads, and his young Japanese teammate in second place. From second place on the grid into third in the race goes the number 12 Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas, and from the second row, his teammate number 75 Glenn Richards. Hotnell, a terrific start from 13th on the grid by 5th place man now, 36, Gregorio Lavia. But it's an HM Plant Honda race at the front.
The first 5 in qualifying inside the existing lap record of John Reynolds, and I'm not sure just how long it's going to take before that lap record goes in this one. There are a few rain spots on the commentary box window, but that's not affecting things at this stage. It's good to see the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's there in 3rd and 4th. The Airwaves Ducatis 5th and 6th, but it's Rutter at the moment that's setting the pace at the front.
Well, you've just triggered something in my mind. At least 12 of these riders were in 1 second of each other in qualifying, and you can see just how close it is. There's Plater going underneath Jonathan Ray. The Airwaves Ducatis then right behind the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's, and those 6 just easing away a little bit. HM Plant Hot. Oh, look at Levere! Levere just splitting the two green bikes. Up to fourth goes Levere. Dived in. Carl Harris wasn't allowed to start the race. Clearly his efforts to start from pit lane were thwarted, so it's been an absolutely abysmal race one for Carl Harris. Not so the two factory Hondas at the front. Chianari and Rutter locked in this terrific duel. Rutter with a 46-point lead coming into this round, wants to keep his teammate behind him. Levere alongside, up to third as the Hawk Kawasaki of Richards shakes its head in frustration. So does Glenn Richards.
Rutter will want to keep the bike number 6 behind him because Keogh has got a great technique when it comes to lap after lap. He's up the inside of Rutter and taken the lead.
Turned so tightly, the number 6 HM Plant Honda.
This is the battle for 5th, and look at that as Plater leans on Glenn Richards, but round the outside comes Jonathan Ray on bike 65, the young 18-year-old Red Bull rookie.
Mondello Park was no fluke. Pole position at Mondello for Jonathan Ray. Third fastest here at Croft. Started on the front row. He's mixing it with the big boys and he's learning all the time. In the back of your picture there, reigning champion John Reynolds, Gary Mason, number 3 on the Stobart Honda, Ben Wilson, the Vivaldi machine, ahead of John Reynolds, and they are so close. They're too close. They are far too close. They got a big crash there. Thankfully, John Reynolds got it to walking pace before he parted company with the Rizla Suzuki. Tell us, Roger.
Bit of frustration this from John Reynolds. I think there was no way he was going to get up the inside of Ben Wilson. Used Ben Wilson, blocked himself, but here he had to let go of the bike. Those legs just wouldn't stand it.
But talking of legs, it was wonderful the way he lifted his injured right leg clear of any damage. Great presence of mind on the last lap. Chianari then with the victory in sight. He is 6 or 7 seconds clear of the chasing Michael Rutter, and Levere a long, long way back in third. But the checkered flag awaits Chianari. He's on his way to win number 6. 25 points go to him. That'll bring him closer to the series leader, who triumphantly comes over the line with that big wheelie. There's Michael Rutter leading the series. He will add 20 to his tally, but there your race winner, the 22-year-old Japanese Ryoichi Chianari. Confirmation of that blinding race. Chianari, Levere 17 seconds adrift. Laverty, Richards, Haslam, Jonathan Ray was 7th, and Hayden, first time out on the Yamaha, he clocked 8th. The weather's been stop, start, very iffy. Dampness in the air, damp patches on the track, so it's all to play for now. We've had one winner by the HM Plant team. It was Chianari. This time Rutter means business, and accompanied by the number 65 Red Bull Honda of Jonathan Ray. Rutter hits the front. It's a good start also by, it looked like, oh, that's Ben Wilson. That's Ben Wilson. Mercifully okay, running to pick up his bike, the Vivaldi bike on the ground. But it's Chianari then right in the thick of the action. Gary Mason, Chianari leads, Rutter in third, Glenn Richards in fourth. Then it's the Airwaves Ducati of Levere. Oh, Carl Harris, what a day for the Honda UK. Dunlop-sponsored Carl Harris, unbelievably crashing out. He must have collided with somebody, Roger.
Well, he looks a bit winded. He's gone rolled over end. I saw him in the back of the picture trying to get inside of Michael Laverty, and Laverty took his front wheel away.
Well, what a great start by number 65 Jonathan Ray on the Red Bull Honda. He's just been passed into third place by Michael Rutter, so Honda's first. Oh, it was too good a start. A 10-second ride-through penalty jump start for this young man, so the young Irishman's enthusiasm got the better of him, and he will have to ride again another day. He's in third place on the road, but he will have to give away vital seconds and pull into pit lane. Let's have a look.
Well, you can see there that was a jump start, so quite right. Well, he's going to have to take that one on the chin. It's a learning day for him, and it's a learning day for Steve Plater, who carves up the Airwaves Ducati there into the hairpin and sets sail down towards the first corner here at Croft. Well, it's Haslam fighting back, and can Haslam get him down into this first turn? No is the answer.
Well, this is a Steve Plater reborn after a great ride in the Northwest 200 in the north of Ireland on the roads just the other week when he followed Michael Rutter. Oh, red flag, race stoppage, weather conditions, the umbrellas are out, the deterioration in the rain. and we will have a restart. This will be a new race. The new rules for 2005 say it's a brand new race. They form up in the positions in which they were at the stoppage, which means Lavia starts from 5th place. Michael Rutter and Kianari are 1-2. The Hawk Kawasaki started at the front. Jonathan Ray gets a second bite of the cherry, of course, because he will start from where he was and having incurred that jump start penalty. But look at the HR. Oh, there's a crash already. 1, 2, 3 machines down. Will this necessitate another stoppage? The Hawk Kawasaki of Glenn Richards going so strongly at the front. Rutter got a flyer this time. Kianari got a flyer. Lavia on the Airwaves Ducati is in 3rd, and it's just unbelievable. This will be 14 laps of absolute mayhem.
Lack of adhesion flags out in the background. That's the red and yellow striped flag. They're tiptoeing their ways around, but Lavia off that start has managed to get himself ahead. That's because previously he was on the 4th row of the grid. That is the pace car flag. That white flag with the red cross on signifies the pace car is out, and that's because we have a rider injured on the track. Well, all drama because the black flag's now out, and that's because Tommy Hill has been rammed from behind. Disaster for Tommy Hill.
Well, he's obviously involved in that shunt, so Tommy Hill's going to have to retire. He's not having a good season. The pace car is in. The race is back on. Lavia, number 36, Airwaves Ducati, is out in front. He is now 3rd in the championship after race 1. Glenn Richards has dropped significantly because he did not have such a strong finish in race 1. The 2 HM Plant Hondas are trailing. Tommy Hill's in the pits. His race is over. He will have to fight again at Knockhill. Lavia, Richards, number 75, so it's Ducati, Kawasaki, these two. Richards is going for the lead, and he takes it. Glenn Richards through on the inside of Gregorio Lavia. Steve Plater having a magnificent ride in 3rd place, the number 4, Sendo Kawasaki. Behind them, 2nd in the championship, 4th in the race, number 6, Ryoichi Kianari. And these 4 liners to look at Plater. Plater on the inside of Lavia. It is nip and tuck, unbelievably close, and it's not even dry.
Difficult conditions, running around 2 seconds off lap record pace, such as these spots on the camera lens, are causing just a slight lack of adhesion. It's who dares wins out there, and the bravest guys are at the front. The Cementos coming up from that crash of Jonathan Ray's earlier, but now it's Glenn Richards that's got the running.
And what is Michael Rutter thinking at the back of this? Well, he is giving away 11 points to the race leader at the moment. No, he's not. He's now eased up 1 place into 4th, so he is in a 13-point position at the moment, Michael Rutter. The new race leader then, Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki. Ryoichi Kianari's got the HM Plant Honda popping the wheel up. The young Japanese riding so aggressively, desperate to get back in front and make it a double here at Croft. He's being hunted down by Steve Plater, number 4 on the Sendo Kawasaki. Michael Rutter, Gregorio Lavia. It's a 10-wheeler, Roger. They're going away, and spots of rain on the camera.
Well, Lavia's looking very, very strong. He was trying to get at the inside of Michael Rutter on Sunny Out, which is this part of the track. Up from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th gear, back down the gearbox to 2nd gear. 75 miles an hour into this complex, left-handed, then flick right-handed, then the short squirt up to the hairpin, back down to 1st gear and onto the start and finish.
Well, there's a terrific convoy behind, and look at Plater going through into 2nd. The number 4, Sendo Kawasaki, relegates the cream of Japan, the might of HRC, to 3rd place. And look at the speed, the sheer speed from Kianari's missile. Rutter too goes through. They go through line astern, riding shotgun Michael Rutter up to 3rd. Plato in 1 fell swoop relegated from 2nd to 4th, and Gregorio Lavia in 5th place, just sitting there watching all the action. The battling at the front is actually allowing them to drop back because there's a terrific battle now. Dean Thomas is being chased by Gary Mason. It's all happening behind these. It's anybody's race.
It's anybody's race, but Keogh looks like he made a slight mistake then. He let Glenn Richards up the inside. Keogh's fighting back, and on the quick run down to Jim Clark S's, which is 5th gear through here, 120 miles an hour on the exit, and Plater is out of the seat, and Lavia's come through to take Plater.
Ducati then in fourth. Levia's steely eyes peering through that visor. He desperately needs to regain that second place in the championship. He cannot go away with Croft having slipped a place. Plater now in fifth, number 4, but coming hard behind them. It looks like Gary Mason. Yes, it is, on the Stobart Honda, number 3. Gary Mason about to make this a 12-wheeler. Levia's going for third. Is he going to make it stick? Oh, yes, he does. Through then, Levia goes into third place under Michael Rutter. Has the speed of Michael Rutter's Honda got what it takes to take that place back? No, because Levia rode the defensive line, put it on the inside. He was not going to let Michael Rutter go through, and he succeeded.
Japanese leads Australia, leads Spain in this international battle. This can only be described as the premiership of superbike racing, and Levia was out in the dirt there on the exit of the chicane. Has Rutter got the advantage now down towards Tower Bend? No, it's Levia up the inside of Glenn Richards at Tower, so Levia goes all the way up to second place. Now he can smell that paella in front of him, and he's really now on the scent of Chianari.
Well, Chianari's got 8 or 9 machine lengths. There's Leon Haslam out of it, walking back, so it's been a bad second race for Airwaves Ducati. Leon Haslam, but not so his teammate Gregorio Levia, who is now vying for the lead here. He's lining up Chianari. Oh, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Chianari with the back wheel snaking all over the track, basically barged Chianari out of the way, put up a little hand there, and I think the least he can do is let the young Japanese rider go ahead, going into the first bend of Clairvaux, which is exactly what happened. Whether he let it happen or not, I don't know, but Chianari's Honda is absolutely blistering out of the turns once he gets the power on.
Great sportsmanship this, because Levia is really out of order here. He loses the back, he has to let the front brake off, he uses Chianari as a buffer and then lets the guy past. Great sportsmanship, Barry.
Terrific, and a flag out to say that somebody has a mechanical problem. That is going to black flag somebody. Hopefully it's none of these two guys at the front, or neither of these two guys at the front, shall I say. Oh, dear me, a twitch from the Ducati. It is so treacherous out there. I've seen diminished adhesion flags waving on the back side of the circuit as well, and there's James Hayden in the gravel, so that was one of the reasons why there was a flag being waved.
Look at James Hayden down into turn 1, and he's got on the white line, pulled the front brake on, the bike spun in the air. My goodness me, how lucky was he that didn't hit him?
Well, he nearly had 170 kilos of Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Steve played another one to have dumped it. He's been on the grass as well, but Rutter scything past. No team orders in HM Plant. Rain on the camera. They're on their last lap. Can they hold it all together? This brave Spaniard at the front of the race has been nothing short of a revelation this year. What a find he was by Colin Wright and the Airwaves Ducati team. He has upheld the prestige for Ducati, and he's given us something to shout about this year. There have been 4 winners in the championship so far this year, and if he pulls this off, he will move to 2 victories, and he's going to. The checkered flag is in sight. Levia then over the line, sensational. Colin Wright, the Airwaves Ducati boss, thrilled. 25 points for them, and that will move him back into second place. Gregorio Levia, confirmed winner. What an unbelievable ride. I just wonder if young Chianari will have a few words to say to him about the overtaking incident, but there it is, confirmed. Chianari, less than 1 second adrift in third, Rutter second, Richards, Mason, Dean Thomas, Plater finished up in 7th despite the crash, Kieran Clark in 8th on the Hydrex Honda, Brogan Laverty, John Reynolds finished 12th, Scott Smart 13th. Maybe not good enough. Let's take a look at the table then. What has that done? Well, it's put Levia back into second place. The net result of his efforts, he has eaten into Rutter's lead by just 1 point at the end of the day. 31,000 people here at Croft saluting the Spaniard. What a burnout.
Michael Rutter may be leading the championship table, but all eyes are on Rizza Suzuki and Scott Smart. After a series of poor performances, Smart and the team have parted company, with James Hayden drafted in as his replacement and Smart moving to Vivaldi Racing. Both riders took a race win each at this track last year, and with some sore egos and points to prove, neither will be prepared to give any ground.
Young Jonathan Ray The young Irishman, just 19 years of age, on the front row, as indeed is the reigning champion, John Reynolds, on the left of your picture. The number 1 Rizzler Suzuki, 30 laps ahead of them. The lights go, and like missiles away from the line, the 2 HM Plant Hondas, number 6 and number 2 respectively. Dean Thomas on the Hawk Kawasaki slotted into 3rd. Jonathan Ray then right with them. These 4 already as they drop into Seat Curve for the first time, heading down towards Scotsman's Corner, then through Butchers. 32 riders on the line. The 1.3 mile Knockhill circuit, always tricky in the first tentative stages, but my belief was that Guianari would need to get away from the word go and lead from the front, because otherwise he could well be mugged round here, but I don't see that happening. He was so fast in qualifying, inside lap record pace. Alongside me, well-known journalist and Superbike pundit Tony Carter. You're seeing Knockhill from a different perspective, Tony.
Yeah, normally we're down by the side of Knockhill with these bikes thundering past Barry, and what a fantastic start Richie Guianari has made. I think he's trying to make this track his own on this the first time he's come here.
Haslam is in 5th at the moment. Dean Thomas is in 3rd. The green Hawk Kawasaki, the number 12 Hawk Kawasaki in 3rd. And at the hairpin, seemingly coming from nowhere, moving through on the inside, the number 18 Rizzler Suzuki of James Hayden, the new kid on the block, full time now with Suzuki, with an awful lot to prove. He's very, very fast. His teammate, the veteran, the reigning champion, John Reynolds, is mixed in the traffic. Momentarily, Haslam was out of the seat, but Jonathan Ray, Michael Laverty, there is Gregorio Lavia, but the Suzuki of Hayden is really closing down now on the leaders.
Seems almost strange to be calling James Hayden a veteran, but he is in this championship, and he's really got the bit between his teeth as he's coming up now into this is part of the circuit. The bike is shimmering and shaking all over the place, and it's exactly a classic Hayden. We've seen him do this before on all sorts of bikes. He did it on the Yamaha, he's doing it again on the Suzuki. You see it bucking and weaving under the pressure of braking over the bumps, and then Michael Laverty just runs a little bit wide. Gregorio Lavia says, thanks very much, I'll take that, moves up in front of him at the hairpin. Things not going so well for Michael Laverty. I think he just lets himself get a full head of steam, Barry.
Well, terrific competition all the way down the field. In practice, 0.8 of a second separated the top 16. It was phenomenally close, and that's underlined by the action you can see on track here. They're just not getting away. There's nothing separating there. Oh, that's Hayden! James Hayden has binned it. Well, not a very good debut for him, but there is one more race to go. Mercifully, he's up and on his feet.
Yeah, no injuries. It certainly didn't look like there was any injuries. I'm sure, though, his ego will be quite bruised, and his pride going down so early on in the race. Leon Haslam moving up the inside of Dean Thomas, just pushes Dean a little bit wide there. Very nice clean move at the hairpin.
There might be a wry smile on the face of Scott Smart if he's seen James Hayden in the kitty litter, but that's racing. Meanwhile, Dean Thomas back in the airwaves pit. They're watching Haslam coming under some pressure, and Jonathan Ray very close now on Dean Thomas, and he's going for it. God, that's aggressive. That is so aggressive. Thomas, though, lucky to stay on. He's lost 3 places because of the aggressive and forceful riding, I think, by Jonathan Ray. But the youngster is learning his racecraft. He's already been the victim of being punted off. He knows what it's like to be on the receiving end.
Johnny Ray just up the inside of Dean Thomas here, and you look, Barry, he's using him for traction and grip and everything, but Johnny's bike is sliding and pushing, and Dean does very, very well to A, avoid the dirt too much, and B, avoid the other riders like Michael Laverty chopping underneath him there at Butchers.
That's about 80 miles an hour through there. Can you imagine 80 miles an hour and have somebody rubbing their knee into your side saying, get over, I need the piece of tarmac you're on? But that is the way it goes. Jonathan Ray then in 4th place now. Behind him, Jonathan Ray crashing out to 4th place. The youngster's been learning his craft here at Knockhill. That is one lesson too many.
Just loses the front, pitches into there, just a racing incident, Barry. I don't think that was much of the rider's fault. No riders out there could catch that if it happened to them, and Johnny just pays the price. But he is a youngster, he's learning his craft, and he's going to take valuable lessons away from this.
I tell you, he'll be somewhat relieved as well, because it was here at Knockhill that he suffered that dreadful injury to his leg when he broke his femur, but now he's back to full fitness. The 2 Airwaves Ducati, number 36, Gregorio Lavia on the inside of Leon Haslam, who will nip tighter. They are equal, very evenly matched. If there's a slight advantage advantage. It will be that Haslam is the more diminutive of the riders, therefore a slightly better power to weight ratio, but Levere got the drive. Michael Laverty, number 33, Stobart Honda through on Haslam. Haslam's going backwards.
Well, Laverty had a bit of a rough time of it a couple of laps ago, but he's making up for that handover fist right now, isn't he? Already starting to pull away, and Laverty on the Stobart Honda is proving to be the class act that we are hoping and wishing him to be.
It's heartwarming to see the Stobart Hondas on the pace as they are, and this man Laverty, Michael Laverty, is largely responsible for getting them to the front of the action. He is on a mission, carving his way through past the tailenders. That's Nick Charger-Med, who's just been relegated. Tommy Hill is in the gravel. He's had an incident, so the Virgin Mobile saga goes on and on.
It just goes from bad to worse for the Rob Mack Racing boys, it really does, and just a spin out there at the hairpin, not very much Tommy Hill can do about that, but just compounding a bad weekend.
Unfortunate season for Tommy Hill, a very fast, very talented rider who came to prominence in the Virgin Mobile Cup. But meanwhile, there is this huge scrap going on. Glenn Richards on the Hawk Kawasaki, number 75, going past Haslam. So Haslam relegated one more spot. Richards up to 5th.
And look who's closing in on the back of him.
John Reynolds, reigning champion, in 7th place. Is he going to get Leon Haslam? We shall see. His confidence is gaining and gaining and gaining, and Reynolds will be on the rostrum. That is my prophecy in the very near future. Maybe not this weekend, but in the weeks to come.
I think John Reynolds is going to really struggle here at Knockhill just because of the physicality of the track, Barry. It's one of those tracks where riders get very little opportunity to rest. Indeed, Gregorio Levere was actually probably caught sleeping there by Glenn Richards. He was way over onto the wrong side of the circuit. Don't know what he was doing, probably daydreaming. And Glenn said, thanks very much, leave the door open, I'll take it.
Well, the man from Tarragona had his trousers down there. He was well and truly caught napping by Glenn Richards, who has now gone up into 4th place. Michael Laverty is in a very strong third bit. Ryuichi Kianari, number 6, in your picture now on the HM Plant factory, full factory. Honda is in a terrifically strong position on his last lap. He has confounded everybody here with his consistent lap times. Tommy Hill, number 8 on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha, back on the track after his excursion into the gravel, seemingly none the worse for that. The Vivaldi bikes are coming under the Kianari hammer. Over the line he goes. The checkered flag falls to Ryuichi Kianari, making it win number 7 here in the sunshine, the amazing sunshine. It's 28 degrees here at Knockhill. Michael Rutter, number 2, he takes 2nd. Looking back down the track, we expect to see the number 33 Stobart Honda of Michael Laverty as the HM Plant team congratulate each other, and so they should. Laverty gets 3rd, Richards 4th. The rest of the field very, very close. Great to see John Reynolds in such a strong finish, but there, the race winner, and there is the confirmation, 12.5 seconds ahead of Michael Rutter. Kianari, what a great win. Laverty, Richards, Haslam. Reynolds made 7th. This is the man, Ryuichi Kianari. The revs rise, the number 6 HM Plant Honda starting from pole position, 30 laps ahead of them, and another terrific start. But John Reynolds on the left-hand side in the centre of your picture now, in the middle of the bunch, got swallowed up just a little bit, but a great start this time by Leon Haslam, who slots the number 91 Airways Ducati into 3rd. The 2 Hawk Kawasaki's sandwiching number 1 on the Rizzler Suzuki, John Reynolds, but it was Glenn Richards who got the worst of that encounter, because he's been passed now by Jonathan Ray, the number 65 Red Bull Honda rider. His fellow countryman, the young Irishman, 33 Michael Laverty, on the rostrum in race 1, having a great start in this one. Tony, it's busy.
It's pretty brutal out there at the start of this race, and it's the good thing to see these younger riders out there, Barry, because, you know, and let's not forget that Leon Haslam is himself still a very young rider, seems to have been around for a dog's age, and in fact he has been part of the Haslam crew. But to see these young riders out there, there's very little respect given to any of the older guard out there. They have to fight for every inch of the track.
Well, the grip out there is terrific as well. The weather conditions, 28 degrees in the air and about similar temperature on the track. The race leader, though, Kianari, is just reeling off lap after lap after lap, already having set a new record here. Is there going to be another record going to the Japanese? Michael Rutter, though, is staying closer.
Once again, he's pretty much inch perfect, but John Reynolds having another look up the inside. Gregorio Levere just manages to muscle around the outside of him into the hairpin, disposing of Nick Med as he does it on the way past. But But John Reynolds, what a difference a race makes. He's already got one race under his belt today, and immediately you can see him. He's a bit sharper, he's hitting the apexes a little bit more as Leon Haslam moves in front of some back markers. Good racecraft there by Leon, putting them between him and his chasing teammate Gregorio Lavia. That will buy him a lot of track time.
Yeah, he had to do that. He had no option, but it was great, and that did himself a big favour. There's still a tail ender between Haslam, number 91, who is using all of the track and more. You briefly saw the blue flag wave in front of you there. That is telling those other riders that they're in the busy traffic. The fast men are coming. Don't do anything. There is Olivia, Leon Haslam's young lady, watching anxiously in the Airwaves Ducati pit, because her man now is coming under the cosh, and the man from Tarragona, his Spanish teammate, who's taking the long way around. If he can tuck it inside, get the drive, and he does. He pushes Leon onto the curbs, but he's got it.
How fraught is that in the Airwaves Ducati team? Colin Wright's smile is fake, it's plastic, it's been put on there. No team manager wants to see his riders doing that to each other. And Leon looked a little upset there by that manoeuvre, and Michael Laverty is about to pounce without question here. We've seen him do it before. Wonderful move there by Michael Laverty, just holds his line all the way through.
It's a study of concentration in the HM plant pit, because their man is on for the double here. He is on his final lap of 30 at the 1.3 mile Knockhill circuit. Ryuichi Kiyanari, the 22-year-old Japanese, has basically shown a clean pair of heels to everyone, including his teammate. Tony, sum it up.
Ryuichi Kiyanari at the moment cannot put a foot wrong, a wheel wrong, or an inch wrong as he takes the checkered linen. Fantastic by the Japanese.
Oh, what a great race, and what a great double win for Kiyanari, setting the standard, moving him on to 8 victories. Michael Rutter, another great second, but just not good enough. Not as far back behind this time. Who's going to get third? Well, it's Gregorio Lavia in the run up to the line. A great result for John Reynolds, but the 1-2 for the HM Plant boys. Is there anybody out there going to beat them? Well, maybe when we get to some of the other circuits, we will see the Hondas beaten. But certainly, they've been dominant here today. 7.1 seconds the advantage this time. Lavia did much, much better. Haslam dropped to 5th. Reynolds 6th. 10 points for him. He'll be pleased with that.
Well, here I am on the grid for race 1, and it's a hot one. The tarmac is 38 degrees, and with me is Glenn Richards, who unfortunately this weekend isn't participating. Glenn, what's happened?
Oh, I just had a little bit of an upsie down there at the final chicane, me and, 50 other guys. Just caught me out, and unfortunately I've fractured my collarbone. Friday practice it was. I rode yesterday morning, qualified, but I was about 3 seconds off what I needed to be doing and too much pain, so unfortunately can't ride. So I'll be at the next one though in Silverstone in 5 weeks' time.
Well, championship leader Kiyanari did not get pole position. That honour went to Leon Haslam. John Reynolds is their 8th fastest. Haslam in pole position, the number 91 Airwaves Ducati, 25 laps ahead of them as they accelerate up towards riches, but it's Kiyanari, number 6, on the HM Plant Honda, slotting into the lead. He loves to ride from the front. That's the way he likes to go racing. He's not too keen when they start to mix it, but Kiyanari is away. It's Haslam in second. It looked like a great start for Michael Laverty on the Stobart Honda, the number 33 Stobart Honda, who is now drafting down the straight. And Laverty, number 33, in the middle of your picture, going for the lead. He makes a move on Haslam coming into the S's for the first time. There are 6 right-handed bends on this circuit, 2 left-handers, and the first real test of the front tyre is when they come round to the Russell chicane for the first time. This is Coram, a 100-mile-an-hour right-hander. Laverty is in 3rd. There, the red and yellow Dunlop-supported Honda UK entered Carl Harris. This is the left-hander. Everybody pussyfooting through there, then getting the power on. Well, it's blisteringly hot here, Roger. What a race we've got in prospect now.
Well, they've got 2 races today, and this heat will take it out of them in round 8 of this, the Bennett's British Superbike Championship. And it's getting to the point in the season where a pattern is starting to emerge in terms of the championship positions. And Kiyanari who sat 4 races out, the leader in this race, sat 4 races out. He's desperate to make up ground on his teammate, who's currently lying in 4th place in this race, Michael Rutter, in the championship title race.
Well, Michael Rutter in 4th place in the race had a very heavy crash yesterday afternoon in the second qualifying session, and we saw the team boss, Taddy Okada, strapping him up with duct tape to hold his shoulders in place, so he clearly is in some discomfort. Meanwhile, the 22-year-old Japanese... Lavia! Gregorio Lavia, number 36, vainly trying to start the Ducati. He's had an incident. It's on 2 wheels, but there's no way he's going to get that bike going again. Rutter then under pressure from the 2 Rizzler Suzukis of John Reynolds. Good to see the former champion, the reigning champion indeed, back in business. He's pushing hard, and with him going number 18, the new kid on the block in the Rizzler Suzuki team, James Hayden.
Great to see John Reynolds up there, isn't it? But the smoke, I can see smoke appearing. Could I see smoke appearing, or was it a wheel spinning tyre? No, there's smoke. There's Laverty's bike smoking. I'm sure that Laverty's bike is smoking at the beginning of this pack. You can see it now, and there it is. It's coming into the frame. Laverty's got his hand up. He needs to take that off the side of the track, please, because oil will be coming out of it. And obviously oil on the surface of this is not what the other guys want as they come down into the braking area for this, the end of the S's, and well, Paul Bird, the team owner, they're looking on, and that's very unusual. A great professional, reliable team, that.
Meanwhile, James Hayden is there making a move on Rutter, so Rutter now relegated 1 more place. He's fighting back, but James Hayden has muscled his way past to the applause and the appreciation of the crowd, and not least of all the Rizzler Suzuki pit. Robert Wicks there, the team boss, on the pit wall. He needs his team to get some results. They need to get running at the front of the pack. It is their rightful place, and I think Snetterton is witnessing the renaissance of Rizzler Suzuki as John Reynolds moves through on Rutter in pursuit of his teammate, and there's no love lost between those two, and there's team rivalry.
Well, Reynolds nearly ran into the back of Michael Rutter, and nice to see bikes 1 and 2 running on the track together. That's the first time all season we've done that. That's signifying the position they finished in last year's championship, of course. But look at Reynolds, nearly touches the back of Michael Rutter before he pulls it up the inside and manages to get a great exit from Russell Chicane. So good on you, John. But look what he's doing now. He's going after teammate James Hayden. Now, there really isn't any love lost between these two. A couple of years ago, when JR was in contention for the championship, his teammate tried to put him out, and, well, John won't forget that and hasn't forgotten it, and he's really fighting back.
Well, he's trying to return the compliment, that's for sure. They're at the S's. They now are approaching the bomb hole, round through the bomb hole, up towards the ultra-fast 3rd gear, Coram curve, driving all the way round here where the front tyre is trying to push away. Reynolds has got his right knee, that injured right knee on the inside. Hayden ran wide. John Reynolds is up the inside. There's a tail ender, might well thwart his effort, but John Reynolds up into a rostrum position, 16 well-needed points, and Jo, James Hayden's wife, looking slightly rueful. Her man has just been pushed back. On the final lap then, 6 seconds the advantage at this point. Ryuichi Kiyanari for HM Plant Honda on his way to 25 points. And the good news for him and bad news for Airwaves Ducati is that Lavia, as you saw, is out of contention. That means almost certain, well, I can tell you, certainly now, Kiyanari will move into 2nd place in the championship and eat significantly into Michael Rutter's lead.
Well, great. Kiyanari is like a machine. He's lapped consistently in this race within 0.2 of a second, I can tell you, and he set a new lap record, and it won't be on this lap, of course, because he's cruising for the finish now, a 1 minute 5.68 second lap, a new lap record.
That's 0.2 inside the existing lap record, or the old lap record of Michael Rutter. There it is then, 25 laps completed, almost 50 miles of the Snetterton circuit. A terrific wheelie over the line for Leon Haslam, a well-deserved 2nd place, and such great news to the rapturous applause of the spectators here. John Reynolds brings the Rizzler Suzuki home on the rostrum, and boy, are they happy bunnies. Congratulations too within the HM Plant Honda concern. A very, very good day indeed. There it is, Ryuichi Kiyanari moves on to win number 9. 8.28 seconds the gap from Haslam. Reynolds, Hayden there a great 4th, Rutter 5th, a brave ride for him. Well, Michael Rutter's not only a very humble man, he's a very brave man. Let me tell you, we spoke with the team in the interval and he's actually broken a collarbone and the other one is suspected broken as well. So he's very heavily strapped up, refused to take painkillers. 25 laps, everybody getting wound up for this one, not least of all those of us in the commentary box, and Haslam had a terrific start this time. But look at Michael Laverty on the Stobart Honda, number 33. Oh, up the inside is Michael Rutter, number 2. He means business. He saw what happened in the first race. It was a lowly 5th, and of course Kianari just stretched and stretched the points advantage, so Michael Rutter knows that winning races will get him big points. He doesn't know where his young teammate is, but he doesn't care so long as he's out in front. Laverty, though, the 23-year-old from Northern Ireland, takes the lead again going into the S's. Rutter fights back. This is ancient versus modern, if I can say that. Michael Rutter might not thank me for that, but nearly 10 years difference between them, a wealth of experience. Michael Rutter has had such a versatile and fantastic campaigner over the years. TT wins to his credit, runner-up in the title last year. This is Michael Rutter's year to win it, and he knows. But the youngsters are out there to spoil his party. Look at Kianari, here he comes, swinging round wide, outside number 91, Leon Haslam. HM Plant Honda leads, Stobart Honda second, Airwaves Ducati third, and Kianari's closing.
Rutter really has got the aggression at an all-time maximum in this one. Very rarely do we see him lead a race right from the start. There is his beautiful French wife looking on. Well, Michael, look at you. The front wheel's just coming up as he exits Sears down the straight, heading towards Norwich here, 190 miles an hour. Haslam's in the background on bike 91, but it's Laverty up the inside of Rutter for the second time. Well, can Rutter get back ahead of him this time, or is Laverty going to make it stick? Well, he's made it stick, Barry.
Well, he's holding him off. Laverty's there. He's running the tight line. He doesn't want to give Michael the opportunity to fight back. Meanwhile, Leon Haslam is just waiting there. This is the move. Michael Laverty then out of the slipstream going into the S's. The knee on the tarmac as he flicks it in. So Laverty leads. Laverty then ahead of Michael Rutter. Leon Haslam made a little mistake exiting Sears corner there. That dropped him back into the clutches of Ryuichi Kina. Oh, smoke! There is smoke from Leon Haslam's Airwaves Ducati. So, oh dear me, they have no luck at all. First, Lavia went out of race 1. Haslam will have to retire it. Yes, he is. He's dropping back. That leaves 3 of them in this charge. Now, Haslam will coast it round, leaving the way clear for the 2 Rizla Suzukis to fight their way through. He's getting it off the racing line. He's on the curb. Well, that's something of an upset for them.
Oh no, Kianari, what have you done? They're carrying his bike away. That means he must have crashed. We didn't see that on screen. Well, there was no need for that. This is a 25-lap race, loads of time on their hands, and look at Laverty now. Oh my goodness, the heat's really getting to them, I think.
Another fall, and that's James Hayden. So another one with a rush of blood to the head. So Mr. Consistent in race 1 is not Mr. Consistent in race 2. That's left the path clear for his teammate John Reynolds to take the plaudits for the Rizla Suzuki team. There's a terrific scrap going on here because Gregorio Lavia is now hell-bent on making up for his misfortune in race 1, and he's going for second place on the inside of Michael Laverty, and he makes it stick. The Spaniard has brought so much colour to the 2005 Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and look at this, what a pass master.
What a great rider Lavia is. Look, he puts it on the inside of Laverty, and Laverty has no answer for that. Whatever Lavia does, he's authoritative on the track, and he does make it stick. That's a sign of experience, I've got to say, but well, now he's on the back of Michael Rutter. We can see speed for speed. The Ducati's no slouch down the back straight. He's not going to be, is he going to be able to pull out the slipstream? And he does, Barry. He's gone up the inside of Michael Rutter into the S's, and that's taken the lead for Gregorio Lavia.
Well, fantastic. I don't see, with the greatest respect to Michael Rutter, I don't see him fighting back, because given that he's hurting, and he must be hurting very, very badly, but his pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. Lavia's pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. Laverty's pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. So these 3 guys know that if they keep it on the island, they are the 3 men who will get on the rostrum at the end of this. More applause from the crowd. What an appreciative crowd crowd we have here for round 8 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship. And I have to say, looking out of the commentary box window, most of them will be very pink tomorrow because at least half of them have got their shirts off, and it's not all the men.
Well, it's roast beef, as Gregorio Lavia might describe us as, which when we've sunbathed we tend to go a bit pink, don't we? But look at Lavia now stretching the advantage. Laverty ran a little bit wide there, giving Rutter hope that he might still regain that second place. But this is the battle for 5th place. What a great thing it is to see Ben Wilson, young Ben Wilson, at the head of this on the Vivaldi Kawasaki. And behind him he's got Steve Plater on the Hydrex Honda. That's 2 new names running at the front in this Bennett's British Superbike Championship. Dean Thomas on the green Kawasaki, you can see him there 3rd on screen.
Terrific scrap going on here because Gregorio Lavia is now hell-bent on making up for his misfortune in race 1, and he's going for 2nd place on the inside of Michael Laverty, and he makes it stick. The Spaniard has brought so much colour to the 2005 Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and look at this, what a pass master.
What a great rider Lavia is. Look, he puts it on the inside of Laverty, and Laverty has no answer for that. Whatever Lavia does, he's authoritative on the track, and he does make it stick. That's a sign of experience, I've got to say. But, well, now he's on the back of Michael Rutter. We can see speed for speed. The Ducati's no slouch down the back straight. He's not going to be, is he going to be able to pull out the slipstream? And he does, Barry. He's gone up the inside of Michael Rutter into the S's, and that's taken the lead for Gregorio Lavia.
Well, fantastic. I don't see, with the greatest respect to Michael Rutter, I don't see him fighting back, because given that he's hurting, and he must be hurting very, very badly. But his pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. Lavia's pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. Laverty's pit signals will tell him that Keogh is out. So these 3 guys know that if they keep it on the island, they are the 3 men who will get on the rostrum at the end of this. More applause from the crowd. What an appreciative crowd we have here for round 8 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship. And I have to say, looking out of the commentary box window, most of them will be very pink tomorrow because at least half of them have got their shirts off, and it's not all the men.
Well, it's roast beef, as Gregorio Lavia might describe us as, which when we've sunbathed we tend to go a bit pink, don't we? But look at Lavia now stretching the advantage. Laverty ran a little bit wide there, giving Rutter hope that he might still regain that 2nd place. But this is the battle for 5th place. What a great thing it is to see Ben Wilson, young Ben Wilson, at the head of this on the Vivaldi Kawasaki. And behind him he's got Steve Plater on the Hydrex Honda. That's 2 new names running at the front in this Bennett's British Superbike Championship. Dean Thomas on the green Kawasaki, you can see him there 3rd on screen. And then Rock On Tommy Hill coming up on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha to make this a great scrap for 5th.
And you've got a blend of age and experience there as well, because Steve Plater on the Hydrex Honda number 4, who's just moved ahead of Ben Wilson, has been around quite a long time. He's about 32 years of age. Wilson's a youngster. Dean Thomas is slightly more than his mid-20s. And young Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha number 8 on the back of that bunch is riding the wheels off it round the outside of Dean Thomas on the Hawk Kawasaki to try and claim that place going into Russell's, which he does with aplomb. That was a super move by Tommy Hill.
Back at the front on the final lap, and Lavia's got it all his way. I've got to say that, well, Michael Laverty on bike 33 still in the picture, but Lavia really has got this one in the bag, and this will put him right back in contention in the championship, and great news for the O-Waves Ducati team.
Well, given that Chianara is out of the race, 25 points are going to go in the bag for Gregorio Lavia. He said before that at the end of the day he's ready to go racing. If there was race for it 3, then he'd be away with it, but he's certainly away with this one. Out of the chicane, up towards the flag, checkered flag awaiting him. Gregorio Lavia then for Airwaves Ducati, and Tarragona in Spain takes the win. Michael Laverty, a sensational rostrum for Stobart Honda and the 23-year-old, and who's going to get the verdict here? This really is going to go down to the wire, but it's Steve Plater, number 4, who's going to claim 5th place here for Hydrex Honda, nodding his head. Yep, I've got it. Vivaldi Kawasaki, then it was Tommy Hill, Gary Mason, Pip, Dean Thomas for 8, and rivals off the track, but best of buddies here. The 2 team bosses, Gregorio Lavia, just deserts, goes some way towards compensating for his first race slip-off, and there it is, 1.7 the gap. Rutter, a brave ride to 3rd. Reynolds just missed out on the rostrum, but the champion is back. Plater confirmed 5th. There's Tommy Hill, 7th. Mason 8th, poor Dean Thomas just off the top 8, but another good ride by Richard Wren in 12th. That's a good point-scoring ride for the youngster. What's that done to the title? Lavia then closes in on Chianari. Rutter has enhanced his lead. Wait for the lights, the tension builds. We've got 2 HM Plant Hondas, 2 Airwaves Ducatis on the front row. Number 6, Chianari, in pole position, looking to get the drop. Round 9 then, the first of 2 races here, and the young Japanese sweeps into the lead from the off. What a terrific start that was. He had a good ride here last year. Chianari leads from Rutter. No sign yet. Airways Ducati in 3rd. It's a Hawk Kawasaki, a green Kawasaki there in 4th. The other Airwaves Ducati in 5th. So Chianari leads. Then it's Rutter. Leon Haslam, a brilliant start from the front row for the 22-year-old Haslam on the Ducati, but he must not let those Hondas get away as Rutter makes an early play. He wants this title. You heard it. He desperately wants this title, and he knows the last thing he can do is let Chianari get away and run. Alongside me, respected journalist and Superbike pundit Tony Carter. Well, Tony, this is hotting up to be a really good one, but look at Haslam.
Haslam bang up the inside as they're coming out under the bridge. Haslam really wants to get ahead of Michael Rutter in this race, but where Michael Rutter managed to pass Chianari, that was Chianari's mistake. It wasn't forced. The Japanese rider's trying so hard on relatively cold tyres. He made the error and he's letting people past.
Well, Michael Rutter knows that the only chance he's got is to get out in front and win these 2. Oh, there's Sean Emmett and Scott Smart heading towards one of the jokers. I'm not sure which joker it is, but somebody hooked him off. He and Sean Emmett have clearly had a coming together, and this is Rutter making the move on his teammate Chianari. It's been said so often that the young Japanese doesn't like to mix it, and I think Michael senses that if he gets stuck in, Tony, he might just rattle him.
Yeah, very much so. You see here the rattling continued as Leon Haslam managed to dive up the inside of Chianari. You're absolutely right there with that, Barry. He doesn't like to do this elbow bashing.
Oh, there's Harris.
That's Laverty, I think, on the deck as well, Barry. Laverty. Yes, it is. So Laverty on the Stobart Honda. That looks a big fall.
Well, 2, now 3. That's Ben Bostrom. So Ben Bostrom got caught up in that melee as well. This is all happening here. Red's flag, early stages. It's been absolute drama in race 1 here at Silverstone. Michael Laverty took a hefty clout. Well, a new race it is indeed, to be run over 19 laps. So basically, forget everything you just saw. They line up in the positions in which they were, however, from the stoppage. So that means Haslam is 2nd from the restart. He took a number 2 place on the grid, and it's Haslam who grabs the whole shot. The number 91 Airwaves Ducati for, oh, and another faller. Another faller. That looks like Richard Wren. It is indeed. Look how close they are. James Hayden is there lurking on the Rizzler Suzuki, going 2nd. Haslam is going 2nd. He's 4th in the title. He and Glenn Richards have been bashing fairings all through the season with just 12 points between them. Everything to play for between these 2 men, and ahead of Leon Haslam, Michael Rutter going away. So this is the battle for 2nd. It's almost the battle for the lead.
It's a good job Michael Rutter doesn't have mirrors on the HM Plant Honda, because if he did, he'd be taking much more defensive lines than he is currently. But Leon Haslam and Glenn Richards and Michael Rutter, for that instance, 3 of the nicest guys you couldn't hope to meet anywhere else around the world. And they're going at hammer and tongs. But Ryuichi Chianari seems to be in his 2nd breath now. He's breathing all down the back of Dean Thomas to the extent where he's going to use him as a berm into the chicane, and he's down.
Lost the front end. He was just too eager then, trying to tuck underneath Dean Thomas through the complex. This is catastrophic for Chianari. The young man, well, suffering from a degree of inexperience, but youthful exuberance as well. He just tried to, and it folded. The front end of that HM Plant Honda folded, and the engine was still running, so the tilt switch wasn't working. It doesn't look as though that was working, because he picked it up and appeared to be back on it. Haslam going for the incredible speed. He just lets the brakes off and lets it run on. Rutter's fighting back. Contact there. Breathe in. Leon, we're coming through. Michael Rutter's not going to give this race up or this championship easily. It's going to be a fight to the flag, and when we get to the next 2 races at Cadwell Park, Rutter is really on familiar territory, and it's going to be a great, great weekend. 10 people were inside Michael Rutter's lap record in qualifying, and there goes Lavia, bang on cue, underneath to make it an Airwaves Ducati 2-3. What he's now going to focus on is the man at the front of the race. Talk us through this one.
Well, you just see Gregorio Lavia just pops out, hits the brakes a fraction of a second later than Glenn Richards, gives him a little nudge just for good measure as he goes past, makes sure that Glenn runs a little bit wide.
Rutter then really making a play for it in the sun here. Is it going to pay off all the way to the flag? He's being stalked.
Gregorio Lavia in third looks exceptionally good through the tighter stuff at the moment, Barry. You watch him, he's on a tighter line everywhere on the exit. He seems to be able to hook the rear end of the Airwaves Ducati up a little bit better and get a bit more drive. Saying that, Leon Haslam's about to mug Michael Rutter. If he does that here, this is sensational because this is Rutter's favourite part of the circuit. He runs a little bit wide, not quite good enough, and that of course lets his teammate through. Leon, big mistake. Now you're going to have to pay the price.
Lavia nearly scooped up both of them, but he's so nimble, the Ducati turns so quickly. He's got it set up beautifully. He's now stalking Michael Rutter, and Rutter will know, he'll know by his pit ball that Lavia's breathing down his neck, but he will hear that burble of that big V-twin as they go down the gearbox. You can hear it now. There goes Lavia. Lavia underneath Michael Rutter, and now it's pound for pound, horsepower for horsepower on the sprint over the hill down towards the right-hander. Lavia then, new race leader, on his way for 25 points, and this is great news. Not good news for Neil Tuxworth, the Honda boss. Great news for Colin Wright, the Airwaves Ducati boss.
I'd be surprised if Rutter settles for 20 points when Gregorio Lavia is so tantalisingly close to him at Silverstone. But Rutter can sit there. He'll have all the pit boards from his garage, from his team. He'll know exactly where his arch rival Chianari is within the race. So you could be right there, Barry. Rather than run the risk of mixing it up with these boys and ending up on his backside, he might just sit there and take the 20. Unusual for... Oh, blades down! As we were talking, Michael Rutter loses it in the chicane. Carbon copy of where Ryuichi Chianari lost it.
Well, that's a catastrophe for Rutter. Can he get the bike up? The marshal's running to help him. Goodness me, Ollie in the pit. She's Leon Haslam's young lady. Absolutely thrilled because her man has inherited second place. Rutter, well, it's nothing short of a disaster for him. He's crashed out of second place, and it will seriously damage his championship. And on the last lap, that's how close it was. He had a little over 2.5 miles to do, and Michael Rutter has binned it in race one here at Silverstone. Tony, one last word. What can I say?
You've just got to wonder now if that's caused any further aggravation to the injuries that Rutter's picked up at Snetterton at the last round. Let's hope not, but carbon copy. Those HM Plant Hondas can't seem to get around that chicane very well.
Well, both lost the front end. Well, that's all I can say about that, but keeping his front end perfectly intact halfway around the final lap. Something of a victory lap already. Just hold it together, Gregorio. They're all rooting for you in the Airwaves Ducati pit. This will work wonders. Now, we don't know at this moment in time where Ryuichi Chianari is, but we certainly know he was up to 10th. He may well have improved on that. He may well have nailed Tommy Hill, but doubtless we'll get that confirmation at the checkered flag. Sliding the rear end, Gregorio Lavia, victorious here in the sun at Silverstone, race one. 19 laps under his belt through the complex for the last time and heading for the checkered flag. What can I say? That'll move him on to 4 wins in 2005. A massive wheelie from Leon Haslam. There's Keogh. There is Keogh. He's fought his way up magnificently. All credit to the young Japanese. And Honda, what a great job he's done. He'll be kicking himself, but he'll take some consolation. The fact that Michael Rutter, there it is, 8th place confirmed for Chianari. Michael Rutter crashed out of second place and will barely scratch a point, but I do know that Michael Rutter is running again. We'll have to wait confirmation to see where he finished, but there it is. Gregorio Lavia victorious. Haslam, Reynolds, Harris, Chianari, 8th place. How good was that? Gary Mason was there in 7th for Stobart Honda. And do we get a placing for Michael Rutter? Yes, we do. 1 point in 15th place. Hayden was 10th. The red flag out of the way, green flag at the back, throttles being feathered. Pole position man Chianari, number 6. Alongside him, Michael Rutter. who protected his unbeaten record. He has scored points, Michael Rutter, in every single round so far. This is race 2, round 9, and again, first pen fallers, a whole string of them, and I was about to say that the fallers from the first race are all okay. Nobody's seriously injured, everybody clearly on their feet this time round as well. That is the beauty of Silverstone, such big runoff areas. Rarely do we get rider injuries here because there's the walls and the gravel traps are so big. Built here, of course, and designed for Formula One racing. Richard Wren having a dismal day, took another knock, and there Rob McElnay, his team boss, looking on. Already then we have a race stoppage, so a very eventful day here, Tony, and I suppose big grid, 35 riders, tight Ben, is bound to happen.
Yeah, it's more like an international Skittles championship out there. Every time they try and get these races in the way, but that's the way racing goes.
Restart then. Again, all that tension, all that adrenaline racing round the body, and they have to do it all over again. Michael Rutter just taking a last look down, make sure everything's okay. Watch the lights. The lights are out, top of your screen. The lights went, and away they go again. Fantastic sunshine here. 35 degrees track temperature. Race 2, restart, and everyone round safely. This time, cross my fingers, and what an action-packed, what a big, busy grid. Haslam, another great start by Leon Haslam. He is up into second place. Kianari leads, though. Does not want to make a mistake this time. The young Japanese likes nothing better than to lead from the front. He can see clear tarmac. He can plan his own race. He is Mr. Smooth, Mr. Consistent. He was lapping here in qualifying. Fractions of a second separating him lap after lap after lap. His precision is second to none. Rutter going third, Lavia fighting back, holding on to third, and there the Kawasaki.
Michael Rutter just really breathing all over the back of Gregorio Oliveira, and you can bet your bottom dollar he can see his teammate Ryuichi Kianari as Tony Okada looks on, as does Colin Wright. Neither of them giving away any hint as to what's going on in their minds about the racing, but Michael Rutter will not want to let his teammate get too far away. Already though, it looks like the front three, Barry, are starting to pull away.
It is hard to believe that Gregorio Lavia came into this season as a stand-in rider for James Hayden. He just burst onto the British Superbike scene, and from the word go, he was running in the top 2. He's now hassling Leon Haslam. So the Spaniard then, right on the back of the number 91 Ducati, his teammate. He's going to pop out of the slipstream, going to try for second. He knows he's got to get after Kianari because Kianari's away like a rat up a drainpipe, and if he lets him go too far... Oh, Reynolds, the reigning champion, John Reynolds, mercifully okay. They're hanging on to Kianari this time. I thought he just might get away because he was so very quick. He did the fastest ever lap here in qualifying, the fastest ever two-wheeled lap, that is, of the Silverstone International 2.21 mile circuit, and we fully expected him to reel off a few of those laps in the race, but the Ducati boys, Tony, are not letting him go.
No, but Leon Haslam in second place, the first of the Airwaves Ducatis, doesn't look to be anywhere near as comfortable on his bike as Gregorio Oliveira, who moves up the inside in the chicane. Well, he did that nice and neatly. Leon again made a bit of a haulix of the chicane. He's done that time and time again. That final chicane catching out Leon, never able to get to grips with it, but now of course Gregorio Oliveira is in second place, and can the Spaniard chase down Kianari?
Here's that move. This is the corner where the 2HM Plant Hondas binned it in the first race, but Lavia very circumspect round there, nice and tight, just slipped underneath his teammate. 1.6 seconds the gap between himself now and the race leader Kianari, and that will come down, believe me. Lavia will wind him in. He will gradually wind up that Airwaves Ducati, the number 36 bike, and close in on the leader. He's got clear track. He now knows the measure of his bike. He understands the Dunlop tyres he's running on the circuit. Leon's coming back just as I was praising Lavia, and back again. How close is that for teammates? Haslam lifted his knee.
I don't think there are any team orders there, and if they are, there's a certain amount of rubber being left on Leon Haslam's right knee as he went round there. That was astonishing. Now Haslam has been fast out of here, but I think this time it's the better part of valour that keeps him behind his teammate Gregorio Oliveira.
Well, talk us through it again, Tony. It was close.
Well, Leon Haslam, I think Gregorio Oliveira just made a slight mistake going in there. Leon saw his chance, popped up the inside, trying to hold it desperately close. Lavia on the tighter line just managed to barge his way through. A despondent John Reynolds comes back to his garage.
Into the closing stages now of this race. 2.21 miles to go. Is Kianari going to hold it together? But it looks as though he's broken the toe, and maybe, just maybe, Lavia will settle for the 20 points and leave it all for another day.
Possibly, Barry, but I'm not so sure Gregorio Lavia sees it like that. He made an error coming out of the final part of the chicane on that last lap, the penultimate time. They'll come out of it there, well, the final time going into the final lap, of course. But now Gregorio Lavia starts the attack. This is where he builds not only his speed and his pace, but also the pressure on Ryuichi Kiyanari. This will have to be the last complex that Ryuichi Kiyanari has ridden, the best one he's done all day, just to keep the Spaniard behind him. But my money's still on possibly an attack from Lavia in the final stages.
Well, the way Lavia's Ducati shook its head coming out tells me how nimbly he's got it set up. He's got it to turn. He hasn't got it for straight line performance. Lavia ran into that one a little bit hot. Maybe had to brake just a little bit late, run wide. It looks as though Kiyanari might just have done enough now. This, I have to say, is no more, no less than he deserves. The youngster has been a fantastic rider here today. Misfortune robbed him of big points in the first race. It's nice to see that no one creamed it all and took the double. It's very much been evenly matched. Kiyanari then looking as though he's on his way to 25 points. The checkered flag ahead of him. This will be a shake of the head. Well, what a good job I did there. Well done, Kiyo. Great result for Kiyanari. Lavia, then Haslam looking over his shoulder, beaten Rutter. Now this is really significant. Michael Rutter rounds off a dismal day with 4th place and 13 points. That really opens it up. Now, to my mind, and my rudimentary mathematics tell me that Lavia is within 30 points of the championship lead. Kiyanari will have redeemed himself somewhat, and there it is, his win confirmed. Ryuichi Kiyanari, the 22-year-old Japanese, took the win. 1.5 seconds behind was Lavia. He got dropped away at the close. Haslam, Rutter, Richards, Thomas. James Hayden was 8th. Leon Haslam, full of expectation, full of hope. Is he going to emerge filled with glory? We shall see then. The revs rise, the clutches are dumped. Alongside him, the number 8 Virgin Mobile Yamaha of Tommy Hill, who had such a fantastic qualifying. Tommy Hill was the fastest man all weekend until the closing moments. But that's Buckingham. Tail end crash there going into the very fast coppice. That's John Kirkham off the Dienza Kawasaki walking away. Roger?
Well, that was down into the first corner, and this is what happens. It's very tight into there. Two riders must have just clipped each other, and there's a domino effect, and they're down. But that's the white flag with the red cross signifying the pace car's out. And there's Steve Brogan on the right-hand side there, talking. So, well, pace car in, so we're back in, eyes down, and it's Haslam from Tommy Hill. And Tommy Hill really running well on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha in that second spot. It's Glenn Richards on the green bike in 3rd, Gregorio Lavia in 4th on the 2nd of the O-Waves Ducati, and the BLD Dunlop back, Carl Harris in 5th, and Harris really looking for a good result here. It's his home track. He lives just down the road, and he really does want to impress these local fans.
Already we've got a 4-man breakaway. Lavia making a move on the Hawk Kawasaki of Glenn Richards and going through a park, a very fast corner. Park up to 3rd gear into crest curve. 3rd gear, 110 miles an hour, then down 130 before the gooseneck. Back to 4th, back to 3rd, through the gooseneck, dropping down into the 2nd gear bend of Mansfield. This is about 70. Tommy Hill there in 2nd place, the 20-year-old Tommy Hill from the Virgin Mobile Cup. Such the jewel in the crown he is, basically, of Rob McElnay's Virgin Mobile team. What a find he's been, and how fast is he this weekend. His corner speed blisteringly quick. The Virgin Mobile Yamaha banging away, 2 cylinders firing at a time. It sounds, looks, feels and goes like a Ducati. He's splitting the Ducatis at the moment.
Down into the tight, twisty part, the slowest part of the course here, the hairpin into the woods, and Haslam makes light work of that. A tricky little corner, easy to lose the front end, down into the barn corner, this is it, and then squirting that power on, almost 200 horsepower of it, down this front straight. Rutter in the background there in 6th spot, so championship leader at this stage in 6th spot.
Well, not a good day for Michael Rutter. He is struggling, in fairness to him, with an injured collarbone from a crash several weeks ago. It's not recovered as quickly as he hoped it might, but nevertheless, he's in 6th. He's got to maximise the opportunity and minimise the advantage of those Airwaves Ducatis, in particular, the one who's moving up to 2nd place now on the underside of Tommy Hill. So into 2nd, goes Gregorio Lavia, the 31-year-old Spaniard from Tarragona, who has proved to be such a star in his debut season in British Superbike. He had 2 rides last year on a Rizla Suzuki, but this time full-time rider for Airwaves Ducati, stand-in at the beginning of the season, but now a full-time and a real championship hope. In qualifying, Colin Wright said to Leon Haslam, the race leader, you know your way round here, take Gregorio Lavia with you, tuck him in behind and get him a fast lap. Fast lap, did he? He put him 3rd on the front row, just following Leon round, and now the position in the race. Haslam leads, number 91, then it's Lavia, then it's Hill, then it's Glenn Richards, Chianari up to 5th. So Chianari has gone past his teammate, Michael Rutter. So the number 6, 22-year-old Japanese is up to 5th.
Oh, Lavia's up the inside into Park Corner yet again. What a brave move and what a difficult move. But Lavia made it look easy. He made Haslam just wait for it. And Hill's right on the back of them. Hill's riding a sensational race to stay with these two. This is under lap record pace that these 3 are going. And now it's Lavia, and we're coming to the closing stages of this race. But you can see what happens. He just breaks up the inside of him and cuts the corner, and Haslam's got no answer.
Lavia's racecraft is superb. It really is stylish. Lavia, the Spaniard, has had 4 wins coming into this round 10 here at Cadwell Park, on target now for win number 5. Conversely, the number 91 bike behind him, his teammate, has had just 1 solitary win, but Leon Haslam has run at the front of so many races this year. The young man behind, the 3rd place rider, number 8, has never had a win in British Superbike, but certainly is placed now to finish on the rostrum unless some misfortune befalls him into the closing stages of race 1 here. Tommy Hill then, it's now a 3-man race with 2.118 miles of the Cadwell Park circuit to go. Lavia on the final lap then, with Haslam shadowing him. Round Charlies they go, the double apex Charlies, the right-hander, before they get down behind the bubble, hooking it up to 6th gear, 170 miles an hour at this point. Haslam is on the inside, he's going to do a repeat move on Lavia, moving across, cutting the apex. Oh, there's almost contact, they're both on the grass. Into the lead goes Tommy Hill. Will they stay on? Lavia puts his foot down, a precautionary foot. He's still in 2nd place. Haslam has retained 3rd, but Tommy Hill is on his way. Roger, talk us through that move.
Well, that was so exciting. I can hardly get my breath. Tommy Hill is the race leader now, really gifted the race lead, but let's not forget he was shadowing them. He was there like a dog waiting to pick the crumbs up off the table, and my goodness, he's got a fair few crumbs to go at now. Well, where's Lavia and Haslam going to finish? And there's Colin Wright looking at the monitor. I bet you he's looking to see exactly their race positions, and he will not be a happy man at the end of this one.
Well, it's too early for Colin Wright to be doing a post-race analysis. He's certainly looking at the progress of his riders now on this final lap. Listen to the crowd. There is no more popular winner here at Cadwell Park than young Tommy Hill. Virgin Mobile Yamaha's first win since, goodness me, just after the war. It seems forever since they were across the line in the lead. But look at Rob McElnay. He has worked so hard. He found this young man in the Virgin Mobile Cup. He brought him to stardom. Rob McElnay gave Tommy Hill the opportunity to show what he could do. Look at Colin Wright. What a spirited and fantastically competitive team player he is. And this is the move, Roger.
Well, this is the move. Haslam right around the outside, and he's really got everything in his favour here. He just misjudges the braking slightly. The back end twitches. He's got to let the front brake off slightly, and Lavia's got nowhere to go.
Well, that was breathtaking stuff. Lavia and Haslam both kept it all together. Haslam regrettably slipped further back down the order. He ended up somewhere 5th or 6th place. Lavia got 2nd. There's confirmation. Yeah, Haslam was in 6th. Chianari pegged him back. Rutter finished 8th, but Hill the winner. Lavia 2nd. Richards on the rostrum for Hawk Kawasaki.
Up to the last lap, it was everything going well, and what I can say, I was lucky not to crash because we were going into the grass very quick, but Leon tried to pass me and he was going straight, and his bike was blocking my way to the corner, and I just had to go straight.
There, Gregorio Lavia, number 36, runner-up in the first race. Can he go one better? The lights go and away. Carl Harris on the number 9, red and yellow. Honda UK Dunlop shot BLD supported by a great start, but Michael Rutter slots into 3rd on the HM Plant Honda. 8th in the first outing. Rutter's championship standings were dented considerably by his lack of performance in race 1. He is injured, he's nursing that shoulder, but he's got to put that behind him. He's making a move for 2nd, up into 2nd place, 2 on the bike, 2nd in the race, easing past the Virgin Mobile Yamaha of Tommy Hill. Gregorio Lavia in 4th. Richards, the number 75 Hawk Kawasaki, 5th. Then it's Harris, number 9, in 6th. And these stringing, a good start by James Buckingham. Buckingham on the blue machine, the Suzuki there, the very tall youngster from the West Country, James Buckingham, top privateer here at Cadwell, top privateer all through the season. What a boy he's been. Will he get a factory ride? Never mind. Back at the front, Roger, Rutter's got to do something this time.
Well, Rutter's really got to set sail after Haslam, but what Rutter has got to contend with is the danger of Lavia behind him and Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill, those guys 1st and 2nd in the earlier race, and really Michael Rutter struggling with his form and physical fitness here, as we know, through Hall Bends, right and left, and then down to this tight hairpin, the slowest corner on the track. And Haslam's got a really nice lead. This massive 40,000 plus crowd used to come here and watch his father, the great Ron Haslam, ride around here and entertain everybody, and now it's his turn.
200 horsepower of HM Plant Honda in 2nd place. It's the same sort of power delivery from the Airwaves Ducati, but young Haslam, number 91, the race leader, 22 years of age. He means business this time. You saw the drama unfold in race 1. He will not want a repeat performance of that. Neither will Colin Wright, the team boss. Oh, there's Jonathan Ray. Jonathan Ray's had a terrible weekend. He was hooked off in the first race by the flying Hydrex Honda of Steve Plater as he parted company at the foot of the mountain. So young Jonathan Ray, but oh, Sparks, and this is James Buckingham, grass tracking. James Buckingham, the privateer, the cup rider. Oh, motocross, fantastic style. Had to keep it very much off the tarmac. That was potentially tricky, but he's back in business. Tommy Hill there. Oh, Lavia with the back, a massive twitch. He's desperate to do something, Lavia. Doesn't want to see Rutter get away too far.
There's been one corner on every track that we've been to this year that you could have renamed Lavia Corner, and this time at Cadwell Park, it's Park Corner at the end of the back straight. He's been able to pass everybody there sensationally. Look at this. He comes up behind Tommy Hill. The back twitches. That's because the front brake's hard on. The back wheel's lifting off the floor, but he's got the confidence to throw it straight into the corner on its side and whack the power on. And now it's Michael Rutter coming under the threat of Gregorio Lavia, and they're going now towards the chicane before the mountain, and Lavia's up the inside. Rutter's got to move over. That's put him totally offline, and he's going to get passed by Tommy Hill.
Well, that unsettled Michael Rutter. He wasn't ready for that at all, and Lavia muscled his way past. Michael sat up. He had to brake. He had to take the wide line. Tommy Hill made capital of that. And there's Sean Emmett, a retiree from the race, watching his 20-year-old teammate really deliver the goods. That's Michael Rutter! Michael Rutter has binned it. Oh no, his day goes from woe to something approaching disaster. He came here with a good championship lead, and now that lead, if things stay the way they are, Roger, well, the drama just goes on and on here.
Well, if that stays the way they are, the man in 2nd place that you can see there, 36, Gregorio Lavia, will lead the championship by 2 points, just 2 points. And there's Michael Rutter. Well, they're moving him. There's no sign of the pace car. There's no sign of a red flag, so they're moving him to the side of the track, which indicates at least that he's not in too bad a condition. But look at Kianari, the teammate of Michael Rutter. The other man that can win this championship is into 3rd place, and that's really putting the cat among the pigeons. There's Olivia, Leon Haslam's girlfriend. Oh, thank you very much for that. I don't think we deserve that one, but Haslam now coming up the mountain. We're really getting to the closing stages, and, well, I think he can do it.
Well, Lavia will obviously know now that Michael Rutter is out of the race. He'll be thinking, well, I'm not going to try and pass Leon, bearing in mind what happened last time. I think I might just settle for 20 points. But in the final analysis, with 6 races still to come on the 2005 programme, will 20 points in this race be enough? heading for the line, heads down, and away they go one more time. 2.118 miles, and will we see a last lap breathtaking move from Levere? It doesn't look like it, because at the double apex of Charlie's, Haslam, who is so smooth here, his corner speed, Roger, is immense. He certainly has had virtually a flawless weekend.
Well, this is an outstanding performance. Colin Wright and the GSE Racing team have put him in a position where he's fully fit, and it's been a long time since he's been fully fit to challenge. He's a young lad, he's got a great future ahead of him, and he really has brought this championship to life this weekend. With Michael Rutter going out in this race, well, Chianari we know is in third spot, and there's going to be 9 points separating the top three at the end of this one.
Into the left-hander of Mansfield for the final time. A quick right-left flip-flop through the chicane. Levere is there, but 20 points, I think, for the Spaniard will be enough. This will move Haslam, the number 91 race leader, on to win number 2, and 25 points to add to his tally in the championship. Oh, big twitch. Oh, keep it steady, Gregorio. You've only got 150 yards to do once you get round all bends through the woods. The shadows dappled across the tarmac here on what has been a glorious afternoon's racing at Cadwell Park, and a huge crowd witnessing Gregorio Levere for the first time in second place, but race winner Leon Haslam, and no one is more delighted than Ollie, dare I say, with the exception of the man under that crash helmet. Colin Wright, his team have done an outstanding job this weekend, as indeed has Leon Haslam himself. Fastest in qualifying, pole position, winner of race 2. Levere, Chianari, a brave rostrum from the young Japanese. Tommy Hill 4th, what a good day he's had. Hayden for Rizzler Suzuki in 6th. Reynolds 8th. Plater, Mason, Buckingham. Glenn Richards, something went wrong, but he scraped a point. Well, I haven't had time to do the mathematics, but I know it's going to be very close at the top of the table. Well, it couldn't get much closer. 2 points. Levere, for the first time this year, has the series lead. Chianari 9 points away from the front. Well, Roger Burnett must have a degree in mathematics. He said that's what it would be, and that's how it stands. Race 1 at Oulton Park, 18 laps of this spectacular woodland circuit, a little under 50 miles. It is really tense at this stage in the season, and the revs rise, the clutches are dumped, everyone away, and Chianari needs to get a good start. Tommy Hill, oh, there is Chianari, number 6, the young Japanese on the HM Plant Honda. Levere down in 4th by the look of it. Glenn Richards got a cracking start on the Hawk Kawasaki. He's away. I just wonder in the final analysis how expensive that incident will be for Levere at Cadwell Park, when basically he had to give up the lead to his teammate Haslam. That cost him 5 points. Look at the lead Chianari has got. Round towards Island Bend now, up towards the Shell Oils hairpin for the first time already. 6 or 7 bike lengths lead. Tommy Hill in second. Levere now up to third. He knows he cannot, Roger, let the young Japanese get away.
Well, great to see Tommy Hill right on the pace following that great first win in his career at Cadwell Park at the previous round, all safely through the newly named Britain chicane. This is down to his, named after Steve Hislop, and it is Chianari that's holding that advantage. Tommy Hill second, bike 36, Gregorio Levere in third, Glenn Richards in 4th. Then we've got the first of the Rizzler Suzukis in 5th place, and that looks like JR to me.
Well, there's something of a renaissance for John Reynolds, the Rizzler Suzuki rider, the reigning champion, carrying the number 1 plate, started from the front row. 3 rows, 12 riders were within 1 second of each other. That only just included Michael Rutter, second in the championship, who at this moment is running in 8th place. So he's got a mountain to climb, an enormous amount of work to do. Levere in 3rd place on the number 36 Airwaves Ducati is finding some frustration, I think, at his apparent inability to pass Tommy Hill.
Great scenes here down into Old Corner. Look at Richards up the inside of Levere. Levere's caught napping here. We're used to seeing Levere coming from the back, not getting such brilliant starts. A replay of that overtaking manoeuvre, a great copybook, using the front of that Kawasaki to stuff it up the inside of Levere. Levere has to pick it up slightly there. He's used to coming from behind, not running at the front. Look at this action into Lodge Corner. It's Richards up the side of the hill, and Reynolds goes up the inside of Levere. So Levere really caught napping, Barry.
Well, his plan is not working out. Levere's going backwards. His arch rival, Ryoichi Kiyanari, is just galloping away at the front of the field. And Gregorio Levere is caught up in all this traffic. John Reynolds, who's been on the rostrum twice this season at Snetterton and Silverstone, smells another one here, but Levere went through on the inside with a huge shake. There was almost contact there. Oh, twitch from Tommy Hill. Levere's on it. He's getting desperate now. He's got to get his way through this lot. Leon Haslam having a look at the inside of John Reynolds. Haslam too, who started from the second row, and Levere now is on the gas up the inside at the Shellhorse hairpin. Reynolds taking a look at Tommy Hill. So it's all unfolding before your very eyes here at Oulton Park. This round 11 of the Bennett's British Superbike Championship is proving to be every bit as riveting as any series we've seen so far, including, Roger, the epic 2000 battle.
Well, there's just Glenn Richards now between Levere and Kiyanari, but look at Haslam up the inside of Reynolds into this, his chicane. A nice right left complex, then a quick right out of their third and fourth gear before they just go up out of sight over Clay Hill. The front wheel just feathering there as they then come down into Druids. This is a double apex right-hander taken at about 90 miles an hour. You've really got to be on the gas early out of here, but look how the front wheel lifts and then lifts again before the braking area to Lodge Corner.
Well, Roger, oh, then Haslam's underneath Tommy Hill, so Haslam goes up one more place. You said at the start of this race, Roger, any one of 8 riders could win. I correct you, any one of 10 could win. This is closer to a 1-2-5 race than a Superbike race. Now, Levere, number 36, is right on the back wheel of second place man Glenn Richards. Kiyanari leads, number 75 in second, 36, Airwaves Ducati, looking for second, but he's in third. Then closing up, Leon Haslam is very much on a charge behind his teammate. Dean Thomas there in 7th, Carl Harris. Richards defending the line there, but it's set Levere up. Levere's going to go the long way round. This will bring him up towards the Shellhorse hairpin. He's up the inside, so into second place. He's got to stay tight. Those titanium toe caps sparking away on the tarmac. That was a brave move. He's really got on the gas.
Well, it was, but look at Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards was almost back through underneath Levere. He left the door open at Shell Oil's hairpin, but now, well, they're squirting off down, and there's the team manager to Levere, Colin Wright, looking up at the monitor, chewing his airwaves, and back at the front. This is the battle for first. Kiyanari has got caught by Levere. We thought this might happen, and he's got caught, Barry.
Well, Kiyanari obviously either made a mistake or just put in a couple of slower laps, because it's not just Levere that's caught him. They've all closed up. Now we have a battle on our hands. Can the Ducati rider pull off the same stunt? Yes, he can. Gregorio Levere hits the front of the race. That was a blissful move under Ryoichi Kiyanari, who takes a cautionary glance over his shoulder. He's thinking, golly, who's coming next? Well, it's Glenn Richards. The green meanie is poised now to take that second place from Kiyanari, but Kiyanari, if he gets second win, Roger, talk us through this.
Well, this is just a great overtaking manoeuvre. Gregorio Levere's been brilliant on the brakes all year. This is one of the slowest corners on the track, and doesn't he make it look easy? But back, this is a real fight now, because, well, we've got the man leading the race who's leading the championship. We've got third place in the championship in second place, and look at this, he's going to go up the inside, Barry.
This is reminiscent of Hodgson Walker, and Kiyanari goes through, and John Reynolds, the old warhorse, gets himself in a rostrum position. Levere, though, and Kiyanari neck and neck. There was a bit of elbowing there. Over the line they go. Reynolds senses that rostrum is really on for it. He's just waiting for these two to touch. There's Richards. Richards back up to third. So a real scrap for first and second. An equally big scrap for third and fourth. And I saw Kiyanari's hand go up to Levere, because I think he knew that there'd been a bit of untoward riding there. Totally unintentional. But he said, I'm sorry. Let it not happen again. There's Taddy Okada. Taddy Okada and Les, those are the technicians for the young Japanese, the man who has been such a star. Had he not crashed at Mallory Park, he'd have been galloping away with a championship lead, but what that did for everybody was throw the contest wide open. There's Reynolds underneath Glenn Richards. Leon Haslam somewhat adrift in 5th place, but Reynolds is really on it. He's riding, as I said earlier, for his job.
and not far behind the two leaders. Really, this is a great performance from John Reynolds, and many of the fans. Oh my goodness me, Steve played out on the Hydrex Honda, and by the dirt on the back of those leathers, that was definitely a crash. Back to the final lap, Druids, and Chianari stretched an advantage now on Lavia, and he looks like he's going to bring it home to the flag.
Well, Chianari's done it again. He's found something extra just into the closing stages of the race, and Ryoichi Chianari on for 25 points. Over the line he goes. A win then for HM Plant Honda, the victorious boot being waved. 20 points for Lavia. That'll make it interesting. Reynolds indeed gets third. Haslam fourth. He pipped Glenn Richards in the last lap, in actual fact on the last bend, and Michael Rutter there way behind Gary Mason. He finished in 10th place. So a dismal day for poor Michael Rutter. His woe just continues. By contrast, his teammate Ryoichi Chianari, a stunning win. Their privateer James Buckingham moving ever closer to his title. Marshall's applauding Chianari. Michael Rutter saying, well done, chum. Chianari said, what the dickens happened to you? But a great day for Chianari. Can he do it all again in race 2? We shall see. There it is confirmed. Lavia, Reynolds, great rostrum. Rostrum number 3 for him. Haslam, Hayden did well for Rizzler Suzuki. Tommy Hill dropped back to 7th. Michael Rutter, there it is confirmed, 10th. It's all going downhill for him. Not a good day. Everybody knows what to expect. Everybody knows what they have to do. Chianari knows nothing less than a win will be good enough. Lavia also will be going for the win, and who gets the drop? It is indeed Ryoichi Chianari again. A great start from Tommy Hill on the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. The Kawasaki of Richards was up there. Lavia had a better start this time. Indeed, he's in third. Reynolds smelling success, not wanting to let them get away this time. Reynolds knows he can run with them now. Fully fit John Reynolds, riding, as I say, to preserve his reputation and stay with Rizzler Suzuki, maybe for 2006. But Chianari again, another great start. Look at Lavia, his popular favourite undertaking if you like. Always slips on the underside there at the hairpin, but manages to keep it tight. I just wonder if they've done anything, Roger, with the Airwaves Ducati. They were obviously missing a little bit on power in race 1. Have they got anything to play with?
I don't think it was power that they were missing. It was really bike setup to give Lavia the right opportunities on the second half of this track to stay with Chianari, which is where he was losing out in race 1. But he's made a better start. He dropped back in race 1. He's right at the front this time, and he's only got Chianari in front of him. Tommy Hill made a great start again, brilliant there in third spot. Carl Harris better this time. We expected better from him in race 1 than his lower position down in 8th spot, but great coming into Druids, 120 miles an hour, leaning over on its ear on the right hand side. This is where you've got to get the power on really hard and squirt down to Lodge Corner so that you can be in a challenging position. And this Reynolds coming up the inside of Tommy Hill. He is, so Reynolds really leaving nothing to chance in this one. He does not want those first two to get away.
And Michael Rutter from 13th on the grid is now up to 7th, I can tell you that, but he's still nursing that injured collarbone. He does have a persistent shoulder problem. He's also got dreadful toothache this weekend, so has been taking something to numb the pain there. So a lot of diversionary complications with poor Michael Rutter. Neil Tuxworth and Matthew Stone watching intently in the Honda garage because they know that Chianari is really hitting form when it counts. And Haslam underneath Tommy Hill up into 4th place. Tommy Hill then just going back. Oh no, he's fighting back. Tommy Hill, that's an optical illusion. Haslam ran wide on the exit from Lodge. Michael Rutter's in that bunch as well, so he's hoping to capitalise on the scrap between Haslam and Glenn Richards. Dean Thomas there, the other Hawk Kawasaki rider with Carl Harris. James Hayden is out of it. That's a shame. Good ride in the first race, but Hayden... Oh no! Michael Rutter! Michael Rutter has done it again. Michael Rutter is out of the race, and that, I have to say, has blown it, Roger, for Michael Rutter and the championship.
Has to have done, doesn't it? I mean, no points in this race and a lowly 10th place in the earlier race today. And look at Lavia, it's not blown it for him, is it? Because he's up the inside of Chianari, taking the lead, taking the bull by the horns. Keogh's looking over his shoulder. He's got to see John Reynolds there, and Reynolds is right all over the back of Chianari. So this is a great ride. Michael Rutter, so disappointed for him. It looked like it was his championship. Only 2 rounds ago he had a 45-point lead. Well, that's racing for you. That's the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and he'll really be going home on a low. And Chianari's back up the inside of Lavia, back over Hilltop, down into his chicane. Right, left, and right again up Clay Hill. And this is the point on the track where the Honda seems to be better.
I've got to give you the mathematics because it's vital. The man at the lead of the race is 4 points behind at this moment in time the guy who is in second place. But if he stays where he is going to gain 5 points over Lavia, which means if things stay the way they are, the young Japanese will be leading the championship by 1 point. But it's too early to talk about maths because there are tail-enders ahead of them, and Lavia is a very determined Spaniard indeed. From Tarragona, the 30-year-old Spaniard, seeing Oulton Park for the second time because he came here earlier this year. That's one more time this year than Chianari, who missed the Oulton Park round earlier this year. Having said that, Keo was here in 2004. So it's honours even in terms of track experience. Lavia put in a lot of laps. Look at these tail-enders. They are really tripping Gregorio Lavia up, and Keo just sitting there waiting, as indeed is John Reynolds. The Honda is so quick. He's alongside Lavia on the inside. Lavia is so brave round Island Bend, unbelievably brave, and that sets him up, Roger, for the tight turn at the right-hander.
Well, I did say he took the bull by the horns like a true Spaniard would, and he's really in command of this race, it looks at the moment. We know that Keo doesn't like coming from behind, but I reckon that Keo's learnt a lot in the latter part of this season. His racecraft has improved phenomenally. We saw him earlier in the year at Mondello Park. This is where the Honda's strong. Look at it over Hilltop. He's alongside Lavia. He's moved across in front of him. There was almost contact there, Barry, but he's got it safely through. Lavia moved over. The back end wagged to one side as the pressure went on the front tyre and the back wheel lifted off the road. But Keo on the last lap made a fundamental error at Druid's Corner. Watch for the rubber coming off the back tyre because he's really squirting that on hard on the exit of this corner.
It's going to go down to the wire again, and Chianari under pressure. Oh, it's out of shape there, and he's gone very wide, but Lavia will have seen that, and Lavia's closed up. That's given him the opportunity into Lodge. Lavia's on the inside. Sideways the Ducati goes. He's up the inside, sprinting now up and over Deer Leap with Chianari right in his wheel tracks as they get into the final lap. 2.7 miles, and the Spaniard has to win this one. He must win this one to make that championship lead 9 points. He cannot. Look at Reynolds. John Reynolds really smells not only another rostrum here, but he thinks these two could trip each other up.
Well, you take these two guys out of the championship, and John Reynolds is right there with that number one in the number one position. But Chianari's getting it all loose. He's lost the back end at Old Hall. He's lost the back end at Cascades. He's really got to get composure and get his act together, because if he wants to be able to pass Lavia, he's got to do it by driving hard out of the corners. We know that Lavia's too good on the brakes for Chianari to pass him. He's got to do it by driving hard out of the corner.
And Lavia also has to have a good distance between himself and Chianari as they go up over Hilltop, because we've seen how strong the Honda HM Plant engine is, and here they are side by side. It just pulls. It's immensely powerful, but again, Chianari there just closing down on the back of Lavia. Lavia riding a defensive line through the chicane, now squirting away up over Clay Hill. The left-hander, Druids will be the right-hander following this one. This is where Chianari made just a couple of mistakes last time. Is he going to do it now? No, he's there. 3 machine lengths. Keep it tight, Gregorio. He's right behind you. Don't even make the slightest mistake. Ride the defensive line. As I said before, this is Hodgson Walker all over again. It's 4 lengths. Lavia then has done enough. Oh, look at the way Chianari's coming back at him. They're sprinting to the line. Oh, it's so close. It's a cigarette paper. It's unbelievably close. We don't know the outcome of that. We'll have to wait for the caption. Chianari shaking his head. He's not sure who did that. That was an unbelievable scrap. Lavia has got it. Lavia certainly thinks he's got it. But look at Chianari. He was so brave. Right along the pit wall, absolutely pinned and kept it flat. Chianari got the verdict. That was sensational. You would never have thought that possible on the exit and the rise over Deer Leap. James Buckingham has done enough. He is now the Superbike Cup champion for 2005. Michael Rutter absolutely dejected, but still, Roger, with a smile on his face.
Taddy Okada saying, you're the winner, you're the winner. Keogh doesn't know at this stage, he's in there, and well, the timing devices don't lie, and by the time it had reassessed itself, Colin Wright commiserating with Lavia. When I saw the replay then, to me, it did look like Keogh had just got it.
Well, it must have been incredibly close. It's a double victory then for Ryoichi Kiyanari, and there it is confirmed. 4 thousandths of a second. That's about 20 centimetres. Unbelievable. There have been 22 races on the programme this year, but these two at Donington are arguably and suddenly the most important in the whole series, because just 1 point separates the man on the right of your picture in pole position from the man on your extreme left of the picture, fourth on the grid. The revs rise. 20 laps then of the 2.5 mile Donington Park circuit in glorious sunshine here. Oh, what a big coming together. The two HM Plant Hondas. Kiyanari looked as though he pulled a wheelie, got it a little bit out of line. There was a collision there halfway down the straight. That unsettled the young Japanese, and he's being shuffled backwards through the pack, currently in something like 5th or 6th place. Kiyanari, but it's Leon Haslam on the number 91 Airways Ducati, the man who grew up round here, has probably been round Donington Park in his baby buggy because he is so familiar. His father Ron runs the Ron Haslam Race School here at Donington. Leon knows it very well. He's putting that track craft to good use and towing Gregorio Lavia, second in the championship title, with him. Roger Burnett.
Michael Rutter in 3rd place on bike number 2. Then it's Glenn Richards on the green Hawk. Kawasaki in 4th spot. This is Coffey's Corner, a faller in the background. A faller in the background. That looked like a Rizzler Suzuki to me. Confirmation there, it was in fact James Hayden. Very, very disappointing for him to be out on the first lap. In the back of the picture, Kiyanari is coming through. He's now got himself up into 5th position. So this is really shaping up to be the race we all expected it to be.
Well, the two Rizzler Suzuki's qualified very... Oh, look at the rear end of Leon Haslam, backing it into the Melbourne hairpin, leaving it wide enough for Lavia to go through. So Gregorio Lavia in a 25-point place here, very early stages in the race. And I was about to say very briefly, as Kiyanari takes a look at the inside of Glenn Richards, and in fact nips through on the inside of Glenn Richards at Goddard. Up to 4th then, the number 6 HM Plant Honda moves ahead of the Hawk Kawasaki in pursuit of Michael Rutter, number 2, the man who's trying to redeem himself after a pretty dismal last 2 or 3 races. Rutter then is in 3rd, but the Airways Ducatis have really got it together here, and we've got a tyre war as well, because the 2 Ducatis out front are on Dunlop. These 2 boys on the HM Plant Hondas are on Michelin, and it really is daggers drawn in this superb Bennett's British Superbike Championship. What an event we've had all the way through the year, and here at Donington Park with Kiyanari now up to 3rd ahead of Michael Rutter, the scrap going on fiercely behind him. He now has no illusions about the job ahead. He has to catch and pass Lavia.
Very, very hot into Coppice there. It's a blind brow into this 120-mile-an-hour exit right-hander onto this very short straight before going all the way down the gearbox to 2nd gear for the Foggy S's. Just Leon Haslam now in front of Kiyanari, between him and Lavia, the race leader. And Kiyanari really does need to put on the coals here to get past Haslam and get after Lavia as quickly as possible.
Well, we heard Leon Haslam say at the beginning of the race that he will do his best to help Gregorio Lavia, his teammate, and if he can keep Kiyanari behind him, he'll certainly do him a huge service. But is he going to be able to keep Kiyanari behind? No, at Goddard's, the determined 22-year-old Japanese dives up the inside, and now he's in pursuit of race leader Gregorio Lavia. Kiyanari then in 2nd place, 20 points. Remember, they came here 1 point apart. If things stay the way they are in this race, Lavia will lead Kiyanari by 4 points going into race 2, but absolutely there is no way we can say things are going to stay the way they are, because Kiyanari is such a firebrand. He is so quick. Haslam hasn't let go. Look at Glenn Richards. Glenn Richards relegating Michael Rutter. Well, it's all happening, Roger.
Rutter not giving up. Look, he's fighting back through Starkey's. Well, he knows that place is also important to keep his championship hopes alive, and well, we've got to say that they are disappearing lap by lap. Carl Harris in the pit, so Carl Harris out of this one. Disappointment for him. Back at the front, it's Levere all the way here. Levere, a massive slide there from Levere. Davide Tardozzi, the World Superbike team manager, and Paolo Cipatti sat in the chair in the Airwaves garage, looking on as their boys perform miraculously. But Keogh's catching the race leader.
Well, it's the first time we've seen the Ducati big guns at a BSB. In fact, for my money, it's the first time I've seen Cipatti at a British Superbike round for many, many years. They're obviously here, but look at this. We've seen the top Japanese brass as well here, watching the factory Honda of Chianari at previous rounds, but now he is closing. He is winding in the race leader. Everyone in the pits just focused, absolutely riveted to this race at the front. These two actually, oh, that's a big mistake. That is a costly mistake for Chianari, who had a problem turning the Honda in. He ran wide, almost onto the grass, just about gathered it, and that has maybe cost him the race, because he was closing. He's lost his momentum, he's lost his rhythm. Roger, any ideas?
Well, he certainly has lost his rhythm, because they're going into the S's. Another mistake. Look at the tyre leaving a black mark there into Coppage Corner. Turned in too early, couldn't make it, and ran onto the rumble strip, but did well to keep it on the island.
Into the final lap then. The gap now something approaching 2 seconds. Gregorio Levere heads Ryoichi Chianari round Redgate. Craner Curves awaits them. Here he is, the Airwaves Ducati. The 30-year-old Spaniard will move into the championship lead. A very somber face from the Italian Ducati bosses there. I don't know what it does to make them smile, but certainly if they're not smiling about this, unless they're absolutely so nervous, because we are in the commentary box, it's unbelievably tense, and it really sets up a fantastic race too. The way things are going, the new championship leader with one race to go on the programme here will be Greg Levere. Roger, he's ridden a flawless race.
Dunlop have certainly pulled something out of the bag for him here, haven't they? You know, watching him go down Craner Curves, which is a really difficult thing to go down flat out. He's got the thing pinned to the stop with a throttle and the back's not moving, and that's not really what you'd expect. He really has got something up his sleeve, and, well, who bet against him winning the second one today, Barry?
Well, he's certainly riding absolutely impeccably, Gregorio Levere. Tail enders ahead of him. He can afford to back off and just bring it home to the flag now. Don't take any risks, Greg, whatever you do. 25 points at stake. I don't need to tell you that. You will certainly know that. You will know where Chianari is, because your pit board will be telling you where he is. The checkered flag awaits. Up through the gearbox. Is it going to be a wheelie? Yeah, it's a mini wheelie. That'll do. Gregorio Levere, congratulations all round by Colin Wright and Darryl Healy, the team boss in there. Race winner confirmed, Greg Levere. Airwaves Ducati, number 36, by a couple of seconds. And Paolo Cipatti just, well, what can he say? He's really seen a fantastic display here from the Spaniard. The Ducatis came good. In fact, they've been coming good all season. There it is, 2.054 from Chianari. Haslam and Richards, a terrific ride for the Hawk Kawasaki man. Reynolds, good fifth for him. Well, nothing's predictable in motorcycle racing, least of all the weather. We've had a very heavy shower here. The organisers, however, have declared it a dry race. Everybody on slicks. Great Japanese support for Chianari, the number 6 on the left of your picture. Pole position man. Levere's bike is pointing, actually, it's angled towards the dry bit, and he makes it onto the dry bit, but not quickly enough, because he's pipped to Redgate by Michael Rutter. But Chianari goes ahead. Haslam got a good start as well, but he's just watching very carefully. Levere's there in 5th behind Glenn Richards, and he was a little bit concerned, he being Levere, about the damp areas. You can see the dark bits on the track are obviously the damp bits. Chianari is now where he loves to be in a race, out in front, clear tarmac. He can collect himself, he can ride in a more composed way, he can dictate the race, he can plan the race, and plan and dictate he needs to do, because he trails by 4 points in the championship at the moment. Well, the man is in 5th place, Gregorio Levere, with a little bit to do. A better start this time for the Rizzler Suzukis. John Reynolds and James Hayden both started from row 2 in 7th and 8th places, respectively. This is now a 12-wheeler going away. You can see the 2 Hawk Kawasaki's in the thick of the action. Levere making a move. Is he going to grab 4th? No, he's not. He's going to feel his way. 20 laps, Roger. A long way to go.
This is when the riders really earn their money. Look at that narrow line of dry tarmac coming through the foggy S's, but it's Chianari in front. Now, if Rutter's doing a good teammate job here, he'll be in a position where he can hold up the rest of these guys. very, very difficult to overtake, because let's not forget, to overtake you've got to go on the dark part of the track, and that is the wet part of the track, and well, nobody wants to do that.
Well, the dry line around the Melbourne hairpin is about 1 metre wide, and when you think these are huge motorcycles, very powerful, going very quickly, it's about 50 miles an hour to the Melbourne hairpin, and you've got to keep it on a narrow strip of dry tarmac. Look at them, line astern into Redgate. Chianari then, nearly half a second ahead of his teammate Michael Rutter, who is, as Roger Burnett said, doing a great job keeping Leon Haslam, the number 91 Airwaves Ducati, behind him. Glenn Richards, another fantastic ride by the Hawk Kawasaki man, and for my money, he really is a hot favourite for next year. Oh, there's a crash. That is one of the Hydrex Hondas walking. Steve Plater has dumped the Hydrex Honda, number 4. He is saying, oh, no, that's a Rizzo Suzuki. Plater was saying there's something on the circuit, it's damp. He was saying there's diminished adhesion. Reynolds too pointing. They are not happy. They lost the front end, both at the old hairpin. Bikes cartwheeling, and Rutter is going ahead of Chianari. This was not in the script, possibly not in the Honda boss's script, but Michael Rutter feels he has a point to prove clearly, Roger.
Clearly not in the script, and really Keogh really didn't need that. Now Haslam's coming up the inside of Chianari. That's pushing Chianari onto the wet stuff. Oh my goodness, from first to fifth in 2 corners.
Glenn Richards was an opportunist there. He snuck up into 4th place. Haslam did a great job. Greg Levere now in 3rd, and he is ahead of Ryoichi Chianari in the race, and even further ahead in the points. But look at this, Haslam then standing the Airways Ducati on its nose. Poor Ryoichi Chianari had nowhere to go. He had to move over onto the damp stuff, stand the bike up. That left a door big enough to drive a bus through, and both Levere and Glenn Richards shot through. They needed no second bidding. Now it is one devil of an exciting race. It really is. We have Rutter then just slowing the pace down a little bit, and they're all queuing up line astern, so much so that the number 12 Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas might almost fancy his own chances.
Well, he's looking to get on the back of this bunch, and really that's Rutter that's slowing this up at the front now. Haslam's done the same thing that Levere has got through again on false pretenses, because twice at the Melbourne Loop people have gone wide and allowed him to move forward. Well, it's his lucky day, but isn't he riding brilliantly?
Well, Chianari had a major problem again. Another faller. Sean Emmett not having a good day here, so he has jumped off the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Bad day for Emmett, and going for the lead, Gregorio Levere, and making it stick, leaving Michael Rutter with nowhere to go. Rutter's had to go wide as well. Haslam goes through. It's an Airways Ducati 1-2. Colin Wright ecstatic, a faller at the bottom of the hairpin. Marshall's looking after the injured rider, but they're far enough off the action for the race to go on. Roger.
Well, this is Kieran Clark coming off, and a difficult accident that. I've never seen that done before. Falling off the side of the bike. Don't know what's happened there, but where's the bike heading for? My goodness, there's a wall there. No spectators, luckily, and missing our cameraman by inches.
Well, Sean Muir will have to get his checkbook out. He's the Hydrex Honda team boss, SMR Racing, race leader then. Gregorio Levere, number 91, Leon Haslam. This Bennett's British Superbike Championship, round 12 here at Donington, is absolutely fantastic. There is a huge crowd thrilling to this one. The Spaniard has captured the imagination of the entire British race-going public, and he is so very smooth. He's just gone from strength to strength all the way through the 2005 season. What a great job he's doing here, but Michael Rutter still ahead of his teammate. Will he be getting a pit signal, Roger?
Rutter made a mistake that time at the old hairpin, and there we've got Michael Pensavalle down, and that's down at the old hairpin. This is the place where everybody seems to have been crashing, just the water running across the track there, causing it very difficult on the entry.
Just at the point where they're squeezing the front brake into the old hairpin, the front goes down. Pensavalle, though, okay, being helped away, and oh no! Oh goodness me! How close was that? And that's Glenn Richards, number 75 Kawasaki. That Marshall was very, very lucky indeed. Without stating the obvious, it was a very close thing. Look at the speed of that Kawasaki cartwheeling through the air. Mercifully, the race-safe Marshalls just heard it coming.
What a great look at the race-safe Marshall. Dive for cover, but then when he gets up, he goes back to recover the bike from the edge of the track. Well, they do a fantastic job, the race-safe Marshall, some of the best in the world. We're on the final lap now, and it is Levere on the final lap, and Haslam is in second, but no way can Haslam contest the lead in this one. It's going to be Levere all the way.
Well, Levere is now some 4 seconds ahead of his teammate Leon Haslam, and he has had an absolutely brilliant Donington Park. He has pulled something out of the bag. Ducati have pulled something out of the bag. Dunlop have pulled something out of the bag for him. It has all dropped into place. All Levere has to do is hold it together now for 2 more races at Brands Hatch, and he will lift the Bennett's British Superbike Championship. But we've got 2 more races to go. Anything can happen in motorcycle racing. We've said it time and time again, but nobody can take 2 victories away from Greg Levere here at Donington. He is absolutely thrilled. Everybody associated with that success thrilled, but the jubilation does not extend to the HM Plant Honda garage. Levere, though, cock-a-hoop. There it is, confirmed. 4 seconds the gap. Chianari, nearly 6 seconds of drift. Rutter there 4th. Hayden, a better result for him in 5th. Dean Thomas, Mason, Scott Smart, 2 good rides for Scott Smart. Carl Harris, Laverty, and best privateer this time, Marty Nutt. Well, let's take a look then at the points in the championship, and what is it? Well, it's 13. Levere will go to Brands Hatch with 13 points over Chianari. Rutter still there in 3rd. Well, this final meeting here at Brands Hatch heralds the start of the silly season when riders change places and speculation is rife. Reigning champion John Reynolds crashed out heavily here on Friday and has since announced his retirement. So John and Rizla Suzuki are parted forever. Michael Rutter has learned that he no longer has a job at HM Plant Honda. The motorcycle press has been quoted as saying he's too old, too slow, and too expensive. Will Carl Harris replace Rutter in the HM Plant Honda team for next year? Has he done enough on the UK Honda Dunlop-backed machine? Shane Byrne has been linked with a return to Paul Bird's Eddie Stobart Honda team. Maybe there's not a job for him in MotoGP after all. At Airways Ducati, the good news is they're back, and so is Leon Haslam. They have signed him, and he will have a full season, maybe with a view to lifting the title. But the big question mark is, will Levere stay? There are no decisions taken and no firm news in that direction. Obviously, some announcements are imminent. After a season-long war of attrition, the fight for the 2005 Bennett's British Superbike crown is to be decided in the final 2 races of the season. It's Keogh versus Levere. Well, 20 laps then, a huge crowd here for this big finale. The 25th and 26th races on today's programme. Pole position man James Hayden for Rizla Suzuki. Then it's Leon Haslam. Then it's Carl Harris, number 9. And the champion designate, all he's got to do then is improve considerably on that 13-point lead. This man, the Spaniard, 13 points he has over the man sitting in 10th place down on row 3, Ryoichi Chianari. The revs rise, watch the lights, and it will be a hectic dash to Paddock Hill Bend. 25 riders sorting themselves out, but it's a Ducati 1-2. The Rizla Suzuki of James Hayden slotting into 3rd, but round the outside going a green Hawk Kawasaki looked like Dean Thomas, the Australian. Yes, it is indeed, at Druids. Thomas in 3rd, his teammate Glenn Richards going a little bit wide, Hayden in 4th. A great start by James Hayden from pole position, but not as good, Roger Burnett, as he would have expected from pole position.
Not at all, but great to see the 2 Airwaves boys out in front. Carl Harris is back in 12th place off the front row of the grid, and he's in all sorts of trouble. There were elbows coming out into Paddock Bend, there were feet coming off the footrest down through Graham Hill, but he needs to settle himself down. It's still a long way to go, 20-lap race this one, but it's Haslam out in front from Levere, and Levere is the championship leader. Then it's the green Hawk Kawasaki of Dean Thomas, then it's your pole position man James Hayden, and behind him the second Hawk Kawasaki, so the Kawasaki's running really strong.
Well, Levere has one hand on the title already, but let's not predict the outcome of this race, because in motorcycle racing, anything can happen, and almost invariably does. A big twitch from James Hayden, but he's lining up on the back of Dean Thomas, the blue bike, the Rizla Suzuki. Now, really, the responsibility of that team resting with James Hayden since that announcement by John Reynolds and that big crash which broke ribs, punctured a lung, broke a collarbone, and the 40-year-old Suzuki rider has decided to call it a day. Our thoughts and best wishes go to John Reynolds lying in his hospital bed, and Carl Harris out in been an almighty crash. That was an HRC true factory bike running in the red and yellow Dunlop BLD livery. That is Honda's chance to say to Harris, come on, show us what you can do on a proper bike, and he put it on the front row, but regrettably he's now put it in the gravel. Oh, down goes Richards, number 75 Glenn Richards, off and out. He's on his feet, he'll have to do it all again in race 2, but the Australian lying 5th in the championship has had a good season.
He's had a great season, and it's disappointing to see him fall down, and that was just a simple front-end breakaway. Well, Carl Harris, back to him. He was quickest in the warm-up this morning, did have a lot to prove, and Hayden goes up the inside there of Thomas, and that's a threatening, really forceful move from James Hayden. It's great to see him back in form. I do like to watch his riding. He's so exciting. Robert Wicks there, the new team manager for the Rizzler Suzuki concern. But Hayden is so exciting when he's on form. It's great to see.
Well, Michael Rotter and Ryuichi Kiyanari, the two HM Plant riders, are back there in 5th and 6th respectively, and there are some who say that Kiyanari flaps a little bit when he's under pressure, but we've seen his racecraft improve over the weeks as Lavia goes to the front. Haslam went wide. Was that deliberate? Clearly, Leon Haslam is under very strict orders not to impede the progress of his teammate, number 36, and now Lavia, number 36, on the Airwaves Ducati, is on for 25 points.
Well, this looked like to me a definite move by Haslam. He didn't really go in there too quick, not too hot at all. But oh, there's James Buckingham, so that's the Rizzler Suzuki of Buckingham. Well, he was standing in for John Reynolds, and that's him out. Well, Hayden is holding a lot of responsibility here now for Rizzler Suzuki, and whoa, was that the curse or what? And that's about as close as it gets, Barry, without actually crashing.
And the most amazing thing is that he retained his place, but he lost the back end. He was out of the seat, came back down on the footrest, has composed himself. Dean Thomas will have seen that and could not quite capitalise on it. Still, unbelievably, Hayden is in 3rd. Kiyanari has got his act together. The number 6, HM Plant Honda, now closing as the Rizzler Suzuki slides the rear end out of clearways, approaching Paddock Hill Bend, still defending that line, holding 3rd place. Dean Thomas now coming under increasing pressure from Kiyanari. It's a 4-horse race for a 3rd place and the final rostrum position, because let's face it, Roger, the two Airwaves Ducatis appear to be away with it.
Oh, Tommy Hill losing the front end there into Druids. Well, young Tommy Hill, we saw him win at Cadwell Park earlier this year for the Virgin Mobile Yamaha. Very disappointing with him. Yes, the Airwaves Ducatis are away at the front with it, but this is where the excitement is, because Kiyanari's got to get past Dean Thomas, the green bike, in order to keep this championship alive and take it to the 2nd race this afternoon.
Well, James Hayden is doing a great job for Dunlop and a great job for Airwaves Ducati, albeit he's on a Rizzler Suzuki, because he's keeping Thomas and he's keeping Kiyanari at bay, despite that very, very close moment at this point when he threw himself out of the seat. But Kiyanari then up to 4th, underneath Dean Thomas, but Thomas is riding so well, I don't think we've seen the last of the Australian yet. Michael Rutter is still very much in touch. He's watching what's happening. Michael Rutter too is riding for a job, because he's been told he no longer has a job with HM Plant Honda, so he is in the shop window. There are some who have said that Michael Rutter is past his sell-by date. I personally don't subscribe to that. There's an awful lot of experience and talent under Michael Rutter's crash helmet, and he will be riding for a job for 2006, almost certainly in the British Superbike Championship, as indeed will his young present teammate Ryuichi Kiyanari, who's lining up. Hayden then for this rostrum position, making a move on the inside. Hayden just lets the brakes off. Kiyanari runs wide, and Thomas comes underneath him again. I said I didn't think we'd seen the last of the number 12 Green Meanie, and that just underlined the statement.
Well, Kiyanari then was too much of a gentleman, I have to say. He got the line from Hayden. He really should have made it count, but he let Hayden come across the front of him, and the 22-year-old Japanese with the typical Japanese culture, and Kiyanari now is back on the inside of Thomas, not really taking too much time to pass him back, but that Japanese culture came into play there, and he really is a bit too polite for this tough world of Bennett's British Superbike.
Either that, or he didn't have confidence in the front end to turn it in as hard as he might have liked to at Paddock Hill. It does drop away. It's adverse camber. Taddy Okada, his crew chief, and the mentor, really, from Japan, former Grand Prix runner, watching Kiyanari. He'll be back next season, Ryuichi Kiyanari. He's just 22 years of age, a very bright future for him. He's destined for MotoGP. He's one of Honda's golden boys, but he's unable to do anything seemingly about the Rizla Suzuki of James Hayden, who has given us so much entertainment over the years. And talking of entertainment, what about these two? The champion designate. This will put it virtually out of reach. 25 points then go to Lavia. Race 1, Haslam follows him home, doing a fantastic team job. Talking of team, there is the team manager. Hayden does get that third. He fends off that determined rush from Chianari, and Robert Wicks, the first to congratulate Colin Wright. Lavia celebrating on his victory lap. A lot of Spanish here supporting him, and there the result confirmed. Haslam, Hayden, Chianari fourth, Thomas, Rutter, Mason, Steve Plater for Hydrex Honda, a very solid eighth. He's getting better. Is there more to come from him? McWilliams ninth, Ray Laverty Smart, Ben Wilson, and the top cup privateer, Marty Nutt. 25 points now the gap. What it means is that Chianari must win race 2, Lavia must not score in order to lose the title. The 26th and final race in the 2005 Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and what a series it's been. The front row then, I remind you, Hayden in pole position. Watch the lights, can he go one better this time? Rostrom in race 1 for Hayden, can he go one better? But again, the Airwaves Ducatis, and now with the pressure off Lavia, the man in second place, the number 36, with the pressure off, I think pretty much Haslam is allowed to romp away, but up to second goes, no, round the outside goes Dean Thomas, but up to second goes James Hayden. Hayden then determined to put himself in the shop window as well, and maybe he will keep his job with Rizla Suzuki. Let's hope it. Somebody out of the seat further down the order. Tentative laps. It's warmer here. The track temperature is significantly up on the first outing. Tyres may come into play. It's a 20-lap race on this 2.6 mile Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, and number 91, Leon Haslam, is away in the lead. In second place, it's James Hayden. There he is. Then it's Lavia. 25 points, his championship lead. Gregorio Lavia. It's almost academic. All he has to do is finish in the top 15, and then, Roger Burnett, it is a done deal.
Then it is a done deal, and what a done deal it will be. What a revelation he's been to the Bennett's British Superbike Championship this year, 2006. And let's not forget, he started this championship without a job almost, because he was the reserve rider after James Hayden, the man in front of him in this race, crashed and hurt his wrist and wasn't able to start the season. So there we have it. But Lavia now has got it all to do if he wants to win this race. And let's not forget that he's going to be champion. I think, you know, he's going to take a miracle for Chianari to win this championship. And he's up the inside of Hayden into Paddock Bend. And then, well, Hayden didn't have an answer for that one. Lavia was very forceful.
Well, he's going to do it in style, isn't he, number 36, Gregorio Lavia? He's not content with riding round for the points. He wants to make it an Airwaves Ducati 1-2. Oh, Hayden down a Druid. The rear end just came round on him. He's very lucky it didn't pick up and high-side him, but he's running towards the bike, but I think it's pretty much over.
He just turned the power just a bit too early. Obviously, it's cold tyre time. It's only 2 laps into the race, and it just caught him out. Very disappointing for him. Great, exciting race earlier today. I'm sure that's going to bode him well for a good ride for next year. But meanwhile, back at the front, it's an Airwaves Ducati GSE Racing formation, and this time it's Haslam. Let's not forget, Haslam's been riding shotgun to try and protect Lavia's position for the last few meetings, and we don't quite know just how capable he is. He's got better and better and better, but this is the battle for third, and what a battle it is.
Well, they've all got better and better and better as this season unfolds. Look at Hydrex Honda Steve Plater, number 4. Where's he come from? 8th in race 1, determined to go better this time, and he certainly is. There are those who say that if Lavia can come here from his exploits in World Superbike, win a British title and lead the field, then maybe this is a soft championship. That is utter balderdash. It really is. This is the fiercest and most closely fought domestic series in the world, bar none, and rivals, in my opinion, any of the racing we've seen in MotoGP.
Well, you've got to remember, this is the #1 domestic series, and, well, the quality just gets better and better and better every year. We wonder how we're going to be able to repeat what we've seen this year, and we surpass it miraculously. But it's this, the Bennett's British Superbike Championship here at Brands Hatch, the final round, and the Hawk Kawasaki's are doing a fantastic job, as is Steve Plater. But this is Chianari up the inside of Glenn Richards, 120 miles an hour, knee on the road, powering out out of there towards Westfield.
Kianari now filling in the Kawasaki sandwich, and their glum faces back in the Honda camp. Carl Harris nursing his broken ankle, collected in race 1, so his season is over, but he'll be back with a bang, I'm sure. Look at Hydrex Honda, Steve Plater, the number 4 Steve Plater, the 30-year-old from Woodall Spa, who's been such a fantastic supersport runner in his time, has had mixed fortunes with various teams at superbike level, but is capable of winning races. He's a proven race winner, and he smells a rostrum here. Meanwhile, Kianari also knows that his only chance of survival in the championship as the champion is to win this race, and I have to say it's a pretty tall order from where he's sitting at the moment, because the leading Ducatis are now 15 seconds ahead of Kianari as he moves into 3rd place, displacing Dean Thomas, shoving him wide and leaving the door almost open for Steve Plater. Glenn Richards, number 75, you could get this lot in the back of a small van. They are so close, everybody riding for jobs, everybody riding for points, and fully aware that there's an awful lot of young talent just waiting in the wings for the vacant seats.
Well, 2 Kawasaki's and 2 Hondas here. The 2 Kawasaki's are evenly matched. The 2 Hondas, one's a factory bike, that's Kianari's, and Plater's very much a private bike with the Hydrex-backed bike, but he's up the inside of Thomas. No, he's not, because Thomas closes the door, but Plater's got more to offer than just that. He's lining Thomas up now for a squirt down over the start and finish down towards Paddock Bend. This is a great opportunity, and he's through. I can hardly get my words out there. This is breathtaking stuff.
Well, I've never seen Plater ride like this. He now thinks that in fact, he truly believes that he can go past Ryuichi Kianari. At the start of the season, Kianari won 5 races, bang, bang, bang. Shane Byrne waiting in the wings. Is he going to be in British Superbike next year? Will he have a MotoGP ride? Who knows? It would be good to see Shaky Byrne back. He's thrilling to this one. He's already been linked with Stobart Honda. Meanwhile, Hydrex Honda, Steve Plater, number 4, up to 3rd place, past Kianari, and this really is a massive boost for that team. They've had a pretty troubled season. They run 2 riders, Kieran Clark and this man Steve Plater, came into the team at mid-season, immediately began to lift some good results, and Sean Muir SMR Racing worked so hard. They had a huge crash with their bike at Donington when young Kieran Clark had to jump off it because they had front wheel bearing problems. It's just gone on and on and on, but this Roger Burnett makes it all worthwhile.
Well, the Hydrex Honda team really do deserve this success. They ploughed an awful lot of money into these private bikes, and they really do deserve it. The lap record coming into this event was Shane Byrne 1:26.7. I can tell you that Lavia has knocked a second off that in this race, such is the pace.
Which explains why they're 17 seconds clear. The Airwaves Ducati pair with Leon Haslam, number 91, leading now on his way to 25 points. A very gentlemanly gesture by Lavia, letting him run away with it the way he is. Lavia, of course, being very circumspect, riding to 20 points and the championship. Round clearways then for the final time in the sunshine here at Brands Hatch. It's Airwaves Ducati, 1st and 2nd, and the 2005 British Superbike Championship goes to the Spaniard Gregorio Lavia, number 36. Congratulations all round. Simon Bettany from Dunlop taking his share of the credit, but it's 3rd place and a rostrum, so it's an all Dunlop rostrum again in race 2 here. Steve Plater getting 3rd place. Darryl Healy, the team principal of these 2 men, Haslam and Lavia, and there it is, Haslam race winner. And Taddy Okada, well, it was a tough season for them. Vicky, Steve Plater's girlfriend, you're supposed to cry when he falls off, not when he wins. A lot of Spanish supporters here of Lavia, and why not? The man from Tarragona has become such a favourite with the fans. We expect to see firecrackers, but meanwhile, he's doing a burnout. Everybody down on pit lane, jubilant. GSC Racing lifted this title 99 and 2000. Neil Tuxworth and the Honda pit a little bit circumspect. Maybe 2006 will be their year, but 2005 goes to Airwaves Ducati. That result confirmed for Haslam. Lavia Plater, a magnificent 3rd for the Hydrex Honda man. Kianari 4th. The 2 Kawasaki's 5th and 6th. Tommy Hill, Jonathan Ray, Best Cup Performer, Privateer, Danny Beaumont. The championship then, well, Levere lifted it in style. Runner-up spot was enough to move it out of reach of Chianari. It was a done deal anyway in race 1 as far as we're concerned. Michael Rutter was third. Haslam was closing on him, but Rutter and Chianari's good rides early in the season gave Honda the manufacturer's title. Not a good day for Suzuki.
Gregorio Levere, what a revelation he's been to this championship. Gets every bit of congratulations he deserves there from the team. Fantastic.
You didn't have a ride at the start of the season. You get on the Ducati, you gel well, and you win the championship.
Yeah, it has been an amazing year, but especially the way I arrived here and what we have done, no? Because like I said, maybe if you have the expectations during the winter and you start working with the team and so many things, that then maybe it's not so exciting as it has been for me. Like I arrived for the first race and I knew nobody in the team and just learning and tracks and bikes and people and everything. No?
Are we going to see you next season then, Gregorio?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling very well here and of course I would like to say you what I'm doing, but I can say that we had very great moments this year and I would like to keep the things together like I've been this year.
It would be good to see you come back and defend the title, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Gregorio, and congratulations.
Many thanks to you, and I would like to say thanks to everybody and nos vemos muy pronto. Un beso.
Champagne and celebrations, and justly so. That was fantastic from Airways Ducati. Levere, the champion for 2005. The Bennett's British Superbike Championship trophy, a magnificent bit of hardware. That'll go home to Spain.
Well, it's been quite a season. It came down to the final round, but Gregorio Levere came out on top, giving us a new Spanish British Superbike champion. I hope you've enjoyed watching all the action. Goodbye.